Jizzo statue.
Yeah, the Jizzo statue.
Jizzo.
That like
Jizzo.
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 Lizzo, but instead of
Legit.
fat, covered in jizz.
Yeah.
Not quite what it is.
It's like the Jizcas in Star Wars.
Just because those were not called that.
Yes, they were.
They were Gizka.
No, it's like
Yeah,
giraffe, but it's Jizca.
Gizka.
No, Jizca.
Gizka.
Jizzraff.
Jizra.
A giraffe could swallow a lot of cum.
Alright, cool.
How do you
Sound
know?
is good.
That's got a lot of
Come
neck.
on over, guys.
Right?
I don't. Oh, fuck.
I don't know. This is not. Is the amount of semen you can swallow not directly proportional to your neck length?
I have no idea.
What? Wait, I'm sorry. How did we get to that?
He was saying that
I was saying that giraffes can
cum
probably
or something.
swallow a lot of cum, right?
Okay, and the argument for that is
Well, you're talking about jizzraffs, you know.
And Jizcas.
right,
Yeah.
right.
But I don't know. I'm not sure why Alex brought that up. It's a very strange and specific thing to bring up.
Yeah, why are you talking about how much jizz you could swallow?
Not how much I can swallow, how much a giraffe can swallow.
Right, you got a giraffe in mind, or
I don't know, I swiped right on a giraffe. Just
swiped right
asking,
after.
asking the important question.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's been a little bit, guys.
Yeah,
ever
Gnomes,
since we got the COVID.
Gnomes, Cannibalism, and Politics, back again.
Has it been 4 weeks?
3?
3 for sure.
For sure.
I thought maybe 4.
Maybe 4.
But the good news is that Sage does have Corona again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it. I got rid of it, and now I got it again. Thank you for bringing the beer again.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a wild couple weeks, man. Shit's popping off. The Easter Bunny's telling Joe Biden what to do.
Well, you know, I mean,
I trust the Easter Bunny with the democracy.
I'm hoping that he just has to have a mascot handler everywhere he goes.
I
I think
do.
every country needs a mascot handler for its leaders.
Honestly, that'd be great,
Right?
dude.
What would Putin have?
I don't know, like a bear.
A bear,
Bear
yeah.
on a
Some sort of
unicycle.
bear.
Bear unicycle.
Got a tutu and a unicycle.
He just comes in and he's like, "Come on, Putin, this way. Don't get distracted."
I just gotta post that we're streaming.
Post that you're incontinent.
Yep. I'm not Joe Biden.
When did you become incontinent, dude?
As soon as I was elected president.
Hey, have we talked about your incontinence on stream yet?
No.
Oh.
We might have mentioned
So
his
you-
like massive storage bin of adult diapers, but
So you pooping in your
It
pants?
depends.
Just regularly
It
nowadays?
depends.
But seriously, you pooping in your pants, buddy?
All the time, man. Especially if
Have
I
you
see
chatted
the, if
with
I
the
see the.
Pope yet?
Well, I was gonna say, anytime I see the Pope, it's go time.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what else do
The
you do?
poop
when
shoot
you
is
see the Pope?
active.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's called self-defeces. So when you start sending something in, you send something out.
Okay, fair enough, dude. You know, you never know if the Pope will try to touch your butthole. That's a...
I think we know. I think we know.
yeah, it's worth being on your toes. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have you guys been up to? I haven't seen you in
It's been like 3 years.
Shit.
yeah,
man.
it's a while, man.
I don't know.
I mean, I got COVID and
I grew
I'm
a
good
beard, I shaved it.
now. Did you?
How big was your beard?
No.
Because I would like to see
Yeah.
that because
No.
Like,
I
was
did
it like a
not.
Duck Dynasty beard?
Yeah, it was pretty great.
well, because you have that whole thing where it's like some of it's blonde and then some of it's dark.
Yeah.
So,
No, I don't grow facial hair.
Is it like-
I was
But-
just joking.
but I want you to try.
I was joking that it had been so long that I had been
Right.
able to grow a beard and then cut it. But I'm actually physically incapable of growing it.
Oh, have you tried?
Oh,
Have you ever let it?
You're
Yeah, it doesn't.
you're
work.
like a
It doesn't
castrato or something.
What about the mustache? Does just that come out?
Yeah, I can get the mustache a little
Okay.
bit. but
Is that
I don't
multiple
know.
colors by itself?
No, it's pretty black.
Okay, so that's that. You got one color there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly blonde comes in on the sides and
How's
stuff.
your singing voice?
Kind of shit.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
I guess-
No, I don't. You know, it must be a genetic thing. I still have testicles. They just, I don't know. They don't help me.
They're
grow
just
hair.
undescended.
Yeah, they just don't help me grow hair on my face.
All right.
Take like testosterone shots. Would that do it?
I don't know. Didn't Tucker Carlson just say that like you need to like tan your ball sack?
Well, Tucker
Like,
Carlson.
Did he?
Up your
Did you
testosterone?
see that fucking video he put out for the?
Yeah,
No.
he did some special.
I didn't.
It was like the most homoerotic thing.
Yeah, he did some special on like declining testosterone levels in men or whatever. And at one point they suggested
Huh.
that if you sun your ball sack, it will like result in more testosterone.
All right,
Pretty sure that would not help.
So we got the butthole suntanning, the perennial thing,
Yeah.
and then now we also have ball sack suntanning.
Yeah.
You can probably do 2 at once if you can grab your knees.
I feel like solar radiation is probably not good for your testicles.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Melanoma on your ball sack?
Melanoma balls.
Probably.
Well, like, okay, but can I just say, though, I feel like it is not shocking for Tucker Carlson to do something homoerotic. When he was talking about how the M&Ms weren't sexy enough anymore, he was not talking about the green one.
Well, he used to wear the bow tie.
He was talking about that one with J.K. Simmons' voice.
the
yellow one?
No,
that's the yellow one.
The yellow one?
Yeah.
Okay, the yellow one's the
You think he
fat
just puts
dumb
on
one.
like recordings of J.K. Simmons while he jerks off to the M&Ms?
And not only do I think that, it's also J.K. Simmons from Whiplash. Have you seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
Oh, dude, that's a great movie. That's one of my favorite movies in the last decade. But J.K. Simmons plays this just really horribly abusive music teacher.
I have seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, he literally
he's like a drummer. Well, he's for like a.
It's for a whole band, but the main character is a drummer.
Okay. And he's trying real hard to impress this dude, and this dude just treats him like shit for the whole movie.
I mean, literally, the first scene you really get of it, he's sitting down, he's his first day in class, he's trying to play the song or whatever, and he stops him, he's like, you're rushing, you're going too fast.
Not my tempo.
Not quite my tempo. And then he's like, all right, try again. He's like, all right, you're dragging this time. Not my tempo. Try again. And that happens 2 or 3 more times, and then while he's playing, he picks up a metal folding chair and throws it directly at his head while he's still going. I do actually at some point have to just play you that scene of him yelling at him.
He's one of the most delightfully evil characters in a movie.
Yeah, man, he's fucking vicious.
Okay.
He is absolutely vicious.
Huh.
But that kid did learn how to drum, though. So
he did.
He did. I mean, that's the interesting thing is the fact that he went through so much shit also does push him into being one of the greatest, doing one of the greatest drum performances on a stage. But it's is that fucking
what's
worth
the price?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the price to be that good?
Too, there's some other former student of this
who
dude
killed themselves after the years later because of the trauma.
Well, I mean, it worked for Jackson 5s.
That's good. You went to a dark place with that one.
Yeah, you did.
But I mean, that's
it's true. Yeah. It's true. I mean, you're
young artists are steel.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you gotta have a blacksmith come in. No, I was gonna say beat the shit out of him.
Oh.
No, yeah, like Shaq.
I was gonna say put him in a movie about a rapping genie.
That's Shazam.
Yep, Kazam.
Kazam.
Kazam was it? No, it was Kazam.
Was it
Shazam is the DC.
Shazam's the DC.
Yeah,
it wasn't Shazam.
No, Shazam is not. It wasn't Shazam. It was Kazam.
Well, now I'm questioning it because there's 2 very different things. There's 2 very different recollections on the internet in general about this movie, and this it's actually one of the single prime examples of the Mandela effect, where massive groups of people remember something entirely different because a certain group of people remember Sinbad in a movie called Shazam, and other people remember Shaq in a movie called Kazim, I think.
Okay.
And now I'm not sure which one's the right
you just
one.
confused me. So
no, I don't know.
No, dude, it's legit one of the prime examples of the Mandela effect is how people remember this movie.
Huh.
There's 2 entire one's Shaq and one is Sinbad, and people really remember this. Huh. Very deliberate, clear.
I'm pretty sure Shaq was in a movie, but I think you're right. I think it might. I do
think Shaq is what the actual movie was.
That's what I thought.
But
is it Shazam or what?
I don't remember.
I thought it was Kazam.
It's Kazam.
Okay, that's okay. So it's Kazam with Shaq.
With Shaq.
But a lot of people remember it as Shazam with Sinbad.
I mean, that's fair. That does sound like something that would happen back then.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, also they probably would make a couple of those, dude. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of rip-offs of that. I wonder if there's it would have been great if there was an Asylum version of Kazam.
Oh my god, dude. An Asylum version of... some of these movies are already so bad, they do not need, Asylum rip-offs.
But Asylum will rip off anything, so...
I mean, that's true, but, can you imagine if Asylum did a rip-off of Halle Berry's Catwoman? Can you imagine how garbage that would be? Oh, by the way... Well, by the way, you guys, I just saw that there is an Alex. You want to play trash games?
What's up?
There is a movie tie-in game for Catwoman on the PlayStation 2 and original Xbox.
Ooh, Halle
Berry's Cat. There's a video game tie-in game.
Oh,
that sounds great.
That can't be worse.
That could be like
a movie.
I think that's probably going to be like an underrated gem.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe, but
it's probably better than the movie, if we're honest.
Well, it's going to be better than the movie.
The movie did have a cat cough in her mouth and give her superpowers. Do you remember that?
I do.
Early 2000s CGI cat hacking up a cloud of green dust into her mouth.
Can you imagine that happening? I'd beat the shit out of
I think it would kill me, to be completely honest.
Oh my god, dude. If my cat came and just coughed right directly into my mouth.
I mean, it didn't cough into my mouth. I'm pretty sure it was green dust. So.
Yeah.
Well, this is just farting out of its mouth. Alright. Posts have been made.
Okay. Let's play
some
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh yeah, it's funny too because we the first part we did was basically day one or just as it came out, and now
it's been I don't know 10 years since this game was relevant.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not outdated.
Well, nobody remembers it. Is my point. I don't.
Do you think so?
Nobody else remembers it.
You don't remember this?
You live in a pretty insular world, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
I'm one of those assholes on Reddit who talks about NPCs.
So the question for you guys is: do you want to do the couple of side missions that are available first, or
the next gate?
Yeah, well, there's the gate, couple of side missions, and then there's the main story mission.
Are there any good side missions?
Yeah.
You really have to start them because the descriptions for all of them are very vague.
Okay.
But then
once the Hoarder House was good.
Yeah, Hoarder House.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, you never know what they're going to turn. Some of them are super simple, and they're all pretty short, I think. But some of them are super simple, and some of them are a little more complicated.
What's up with the Kadama?
The what? I'm sorry.
The ball on the stick.
The ball on the stick. I'm sorry.
Thing. There's a squash.
Oh yeah.
So it's anytime we find an artifact that we can sell to the cats.
Oh,
cat vendors.
I feel like you just want to gather up the artifacts over time and then do a one and done, dump them off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go check out a side mission, I guess.
And then I also forgot we could do this so that if we finish something, it doesn't show up on the map anymore.
That's a good idea.
Nice.
I don't know why that's not an automatic thing, but
yeah, I don't really need to know where the side quest I just completed was.
Right. All right. Well, let's see. This is a doll, and then both of these are just
Let's do the voice of the wall.
Spirits.
Oh, spirit with something to say.
But again, you don't really know what
spirit's
those
going to say.
Be.
Buy my mixtape.
Oh God, I hope not. I hate.
Thank you for resubscribing, honey.
Okay.
What's up?
And then the Jizo statues are. So I know we found at least one. Jizo. Jesus. This is Japan.
It's either Jesus or Jizo.
No, it's not.
Is it like a Ginsu, like those knives?
No, not quite. Not quite. They're little statues, and every time you find one, there's 3 different
Do you remember
kinds.
that commercial though?
You wouldn't
commercial?
You wouldn't cut your tomato with your hand, or what was it?
It was like in Japan, the hand
can be
used like a knife, and then they cut. He snaps a board in half, and he's like, "But this method doesn't work so well for a tomato."
Karate chopping a tomato. Yeah, I do remember that. But no, these the little statues. They every time you find one, it adds 1 to the maximum of the ammo counter of how much ammo you can have for each of your spirit weapons. Oh, those are something we just kind of come across totally randomly. But that's actually something that Nadia is going to help me find all of those off stream, so that those little things is just something that it's just a collectible. But it does make the game better to get all of them. But it's also collectible. We don't necessarily need to.
It's not an interesting game
hunt them all. Yeah, exactly. So we'll go check out this thing with the doll first.
All right.
I've been pretty bored watching some dude collect all the feathers in Assassin's Creed 2 or whatever.
Oh my God, doesn't that sound painful? I didn't enjoy
work.
I don't enjoy playing it.
Yeah, I never even bothered with that. And I 100% almost everything else, I think.
Yeah, and in 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, look at what they've done to Assassin's Creed, man.
Well, it just hasn't evolved in any way, shape, or form.
Well, it has, but in the wrong way. It's evolved in the wrong direction. And it lets you explore Japan. Well, that's true. The scenery is nice, but...
Yeah, if you like just pissing around in an environment, there's nothing wrong with that.
But I do think, like, for the sake of, like, a stream for other people watching...
Yeah, nobody wants to watch us on a stroll through a park, basically.
Granted, I mean, I don't know. We might have some funny things to say about that park.
What's in the park?
I don't know.
I mean,
what are you doing in that park?
I mean, I don't know, man. The Easter Bunny isn't directing me where I'm supposed to go, so I'm losing track of myself.
Go home,
we did once run around in an Arctic laboratory for like 20 minutes talking about fucking people's dads.
That's true. We did spend 20 minutes of Deathloop just talking about fucking people's dads in a single room. So, I mean, we've been known to do that.
It would fuck my day up if somebody fucked my dad. Dude.
Yeah? That would fuck your day up?
Yeah, dude. Like, why would that, like...
How do you feel about your
mom?
mom?
You guys didn't hear about that? I don't
Yeah, you just, like, have a grudge against her?
No, I mean, that's
I've heard of it.
I mean, I don't want to hear...
What would this be?
I don't want to hear about it, but I'm fine with my parents doing it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, somebody come up and this random person be like, hey, I fucked your dad. Like, that fuck me up. Like, I'd have a lot of questions about it.
What questions? What would you ask? What would your first question be?
Like, who are you? How did you meet my dad?
Why did you fuck
like,
my dad?
Why did you fuck my
Was
dad?
he into it?
Does my dad have STDs now?
Right. Not hopefully not the full blown AIDS.
Yeah, right.
So some sort of possessed doll we're trying to track down.
Okay.
Just walking your ghost.
Just leaves a big trail. Ectoplasm.
Oh, there's just all the random clothes are on the street.
Oh, yeah, that's right, 'cause the
Oh yeah, yep, the guy because straight up rapture shit.
Forgot about the rapture.
Rapture.
Oh,
Can't
can't
get
fit
to
in there.
that. Alright, around the building. But no, so it's, yeah, guys, talk to me about the crazy shit that's been happening because I feel like there's a lot in a very short amount of time.
I mean, it has been 3 weeks.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
What happened?
So far, I'm just enjoying the fact that the Russians are hopping mad about that cruiser they lost.
Well, it's their flagship.
Yep,
dude.
at least in the Black Sea.
Yep, I'm pretty butthurt about that.
They're so fucking impotent. They can't really do anything to Ukraine in revenge.
I am fascinated by how little military equipment the West has, though. You hear that a third of our javelins went to Ukraine already now?
I'm not surprised.
Really, a third?
Yeah, dude, our stockpiles are horrible.
I mean, that's the thing is, the West's philosophy for, I don't know, 40, 50 years at this point has been, no, it's been, the Soviets are going to overwhelm us with gear no matter what we do. We can't afford to build as much as them. So let's make sure our shit doesn't suck, and then it's going to go nuclear anyway, so don't worry about making too much.
That's not a good philosophy, I don't think.
I mean, it made sense in the 80s, not so much today. And our militaries just haven't evolved since the 80s. Soviets haven't either. Well, not Soviets
clearly
anymore,
not.
but
I mean,
Yeah.
we at least have new vehicles. And stuff.
actually we don't. Like, maybe a couple, but like...
They're more recent, though, than Russia's.
Although we did leave all those nice Tacomas in Iraq. There's a lot of, like... We single-handedly made Toyota, like, the official sponsor of terrorism.
That's true, man.
Yeah.
Well, what about all the Ford trucks they were driving?
They didn't like Ford trucks that much.
Yeah,
Did they not? I thought they had
they thought Ford
Toyotas.
trucks were kind of poorly made compared to the Asian companies.
Yeah,
Damn, so
really-
even the Taliban was, like, talking shit about American cars?
Yeah, like, they'll use them if they have to, but they'd really rather have a Toyota.
Okay,
Well, and it just makes sense in that environment to have a smaller size pickup. Right?
It does. Though the bigger the pickup means you put a bigger gun on it.
That's true.
The Arabs kind of are masters of, like, you know, if something has wheels, they'll figure out a way to put the biggest gun possible on it.
Oh, shit. Ulysses, did you see the video of It was on a Saudi Arabian comedy show of two actors playing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and it was literally just Biden falling asleep and her shaking him awake, and then him like trying to run up, like wander off the stage, and her having to like come around and like steer him back, and or him like getting a name wrong and her whispering. It was, I mean, even just Saudi Arabia just mocking us on live
And
TV.
if Saudi Arabia is dogging us that hard, you know we got problems.
Yeah.
We do, man. We have some,
Well, especially
some
like
serious.
it's amazing enough that there's a comedy show in Saudi Arabia, but you know that
That's a good point.
I'm pretty sure laughing is against their version of Islam.
But you know that they can't say anything that's not state approved on. I've definitely never done like a Mohammed bin Salman sketch on that show.
Yeah.
I haven't seen very much of that show.
That would be a great way to get some arsenic in the mail.
Yeah, I promise you, there's no Saudi.
There is probably a sketch about him, but it's about how great he is.
Probably, it's about how unfortunate things happen to people who say bad things about him.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, most of our like tanks and planes and shit are legacy projects from the 80s, with some exceptions like the F-35, and you know how that went.
Hey, is an extra, 300 million a plane. It is what it is, Ulysses.
Yeah, it's really paying off on these planes that can barely function. Can't take
Well,
off.
if it wasn't for that extra 300 million, they wouldn't function at all.
That's a good point.
So,
Yeah, I mean, just like our older planes that we spend much less on and work great.
wow.
I mean, I don't know if that's quite right, but
You're right. It does amaze me that we built more reliable military technology when we were forcing companies that didn't even specialize in military tech to make things for us.
Yep.
Then the military-industrial complex can make for us now.
yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you got lots of corruption going on.
That's true.
I mean, the military-industrial complex is like
And
international corruption too.
Well, and the incentive structure is all fucked when you make the most money by making it as complicated as possible.
Right.
Then you can charge more per unit, and the government will always shell out that money. So they're like, yeah, sure, you need, holographic capabilities. It's like what they moved our catapult systems for ships, the catapulting systems that launch the
like
planes.
aircraft carriers.
Yeah, they moved those from steam-based.
Hey, it's Yoshino.
Hey, Yoshino.
Hey.
Thank you for the 100 biddies. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Hope you're having an alright evening.
But they moved from steam-based to maglev.
Die, school children.
And that maglev shit does not work at all. It is completely worthless. They've had to delay several projects now because they can't make it work. And the Steam system cost basically nothing and had been perfected. Mm-hmm. But, obviously they wanted to charge extra money, so they're like, we'll make this new, more complicated system that you don't need.
Man, that's just fucking... The military philosophy is just Apple. It's just Apple's tech philosophy.
At least Apple's shit always works.
Well, sometimes they blow up.
There is the, what's the term? What's the right term for it?
Planned obsolescence.
Planned obsolescence, yeah. They got that going on.
Well, the military has that too. It's just over a longer time scale.
Right.
I mean, the Apple has to damage their products themselves in order to get people to buy a new one. I mean, you've got the Apple religious people or whatever who will buy the new one no matter what. Mm-hmm. For a while there, Apple was slowing the phones down intentionally.
Yep, they had a huge lawsuit about that.
Oh yeah, they can't do that anymore. They got in a lot of trouble, but they made more money than they lost in that lawsuit. So
right. So it's
shit.
it doesn't really matter.
That's always the problem with lawsuits and fines and shit.
Alright, sorry, that's it. Well, have a good night, Yoshino.
Have a good night, Yoshino. It's good seeing you, man.
I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for the biddies again. And no need to apologize either. No worries, man. Eh? Million spirits dressed. Eh?
Oh, I did start paying attention to upcoming elections in the world again.
Oh yeah,
More into
one.
that. I mean, France is on Sunday is the second round there.
Oh,
gonna be
I can't wait to
interesting.
talk about that on next Tuesday.
Yeah, so that could be.
Because Le Pen is looking like she
She has
could.
a chance.
She has a
She has
chance.
She has a
I'm
good
not saying
chance.
she will win, but
Macron's still the more likely, but she has a much better chance than she did in 2017.
Yeah.
And then Australia is coming up.
They're
And
gonna elect using thing.
no, right now it's between Scott Morrison is the incumbent prime minister. He's I don't know, he's kind of a milquetoast dude. He reminds me of Jeb a little bit.
he's the Australian Jeb.
Yeah, he's just I don't know.
So what's he got instead of turtles? Wallabies?
Handing out wallabies to all the kids.
I haven't seen him have any weird shit in his pockets yet, but he's fine. I don't know. Political scandals in Australia are like hard for me to take seriously.
Yeah.
They've been going through like this like back and forth over who are bigger bullies.
We do that here too.
No, I mean like literally like it's the controversy is that it started some people who in the Liberal Party, which is weirdly the conservative party over there, more like our Republican Party.
Right.
Right.
I mean, just to show you how little those labels really mean.
Right.
But they got accused. Some women came out and said that they were being bullied by people in the Liberal Party leadership or whatever,
Right.
so staff or whatever. And then Labour really got big on that, and that became like the big political scandal in Australia for a little while. Was like, you know, the Liberals are bullies, and then apparently one of the Labour senators had a heart attack, and died, and then after that it came out and people started talking about how people in the Labour Party had bullied her into having a heart attack.
I thought you were going to say the biggest bully turned out to be cholesterol.
So she had a heart attack apparently from the stress of being bullied.
I didn't know bullying was that effective.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It can kill you. So then the Labour Party didn't want to talk about bullying anymore because this lady had apparently been bullied, and it's just hard for me to take that level of political scandal seriously.
Right. I mean, it's
Like it just I don't know. Like it became like a controversy. I guess the woman who had the heart attack had like called a few of her like colleagues the mean girls because they had like made fun of her for not being able to have children or something.
oh well. It's
mean. That's mean.
But I don't know about like political scandal.
Or if it would make you have a heart attack. But.
Yeah. No.
But then she was calling them.
I don't know.
mean
People
girls.
are pretty, not exactly the most mentally tough these days.
That's true.
That's true.
But she had called them mean girls, and then that started this controversy of if it's sexist to say mean girls.
It's a movie reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but the leader of the Labour Party was
They
like,
really
I
will do
find
it with
it
anything."
very offensive that we're using a term like mean girls to refer to these extremely talented women or something. Like that. So.
Is
I
it
don't
because
they were bullying and were mean?
is she saying it's offensive because she doesn't want anyone to be compared to Lindsay Lohan? like what? Like what's the deal?
I guess just the idea that you would call them mean girls is like belittling to them as like strong women or something. I don't know. It's another woman that calls them that from the same.
Well,
party.
obviously she was just sexist against women because she'd been poisoned by toxic masculinity.
Right. I don't know. So either way, like the whole bullying thing was like the big thing going on in Australia for like the last 6 months, which is very hard for me to take seriously given the level of scandal that we have in America.
Right.
Yeah.
But so you've got Morrison, and then you've got this guy named Anthony Albanese. And he's the Labor Party leader.
This little kid's umbrella like got brought to life as a demon.
Huh.
I had that problem once.
Did you? Yeah. How'd you resolve that?
Well, fortunately, it blew away in a storm, so it was all good.
This is the one-legged umbrella thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's an actual yokai, yeah.
Yeah, this is like an actual
legit. I think
Japanese yokai.
I do think.
Man, yokai are like one step removed from like the SCP Foundation.
Mm. However, Brazil's election is much more interesting so far. The big scandal going on down there is that apparently they've been the Brazilian military bought 50,000 tablets of Viagra.
What?
And some fake penises.
What?
Like penile implants.
What?
What?
Why?
I don't know. The story. So Bolsonaro came out and he was very upset about the fact that people were implying that like people in the military couldn't get boners. So he said
that really got to him. Huh?
Yeah, it really upset him. And they were also implying because like Bolsonaro like wants to put off like this air of like I'm such a man and shit that they were also implying that like if the people in the military under Bolsonaro can't get boners, maybe Bolsonaro also can't get a boner. So then that made him really upset. So he came out and he was like, it's just for like low blood pressure, okay? Like if people take the Viagra.
Nobody takes Viagra for low blood pressure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Viagra started out as a candidate for blood pressure medication or something.
But there are other blood pressure.
Yeah, I don't know why you would not just give them regular blood pressure medication.
Why fake penises though?
I think that's for people who have like serious they
self-esteem problems.
I think it's for people who like their
don't want to get laughed at.
Literally are like mutilated or something like that, and it's like a surgical report.
Well, like if your dick got blown up by a bomb and they give you a new one.
Yeah, or something.
I lost my dick in Iraq.
Well, that actually happened.
Yeah.
Oh, of course it does.
Plus, what wars has Brazil done?
I don't know. I don't know if it's, but it, like once you join the military, you're on the like government health insurance. So even if you had like necrotizing like flesh disease on your dick, the army would pay to do whatever, I guess.
All right.
But so they were making fun of him for that.
That's not how it works here, though.
No.
No.
But they were making fun of him for that, and he got kind of pissed. And then they went to ask the guy that he's running against, who was the president, like 2 presidents before Bolsonaro. He went to prison for corruption.
Of course.
And that's Bolsonaro won mainly because he went to prison and he couldn't run. So now he's out of prison and he's running again. And they went and asked him about the Viagra scandal. And he said, I don't know anything about that, but I am so fucking horny to fix this country right now.
What the fuck?
That's what he said. He said, I'm so fucking horny to fix this country.
What is going on in Brazil?
I don't know. Brazil's weird. It's much more entertaining than Australia. Australia's election's like boring me to death.
Which country was it that had the scandal? Was it South Korea?
The anal acupuncture?
Yeah, the anal acupuncture scandal. Did we talk about that on the stream already?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Which is pretty great.
Ooh, I've got a great story for you guys.
What's up?
So, it's a very short story. Just found out that the downstairs half of this duplex used to be a brothel.
What?
An illegal brothel.
When?
With this landlord.
When?
In the like mid-2000s.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, only 12 years ago.
That's messed up.
And the legal brothel was being run out of the downstairs, the room downstairs.
I don't think there are any legal brothels outside of Canada.
I mean, that's true, but...
Did they decide to sanitize things better downstairs after they found that out?
I mean, what are you going to do after you've been living here for 7 or 6 years? And
I
was
guess.
12 years ago?
You've already got.
Yeah, if you got some, you got some.
That's a good point. Wow.
I was just hoping they cleaned it out when...
How did you guys find that out?
Randy, the landlord, just straight up told us that happened.
Weird.
Yeah, he just was like, oh, by the way.
So
that's a strange thing to bring up.
So what, they raid the brothel? Or
I don't know exactly how it was dealt with, but it was dealt with.
Weird, man. Huh.
Yeah. Real weird. Real weird. Okay. You guys, you have to help me remember if I told this story or not already, too. But did I tell you guys about the cop shows that I saw quite a bit of?
I think so.
Yeah.
About how they all fired into shallow water.
Yeah.
Like
It was
Predator.
the body that came up, and they're like, "Oh, there's another body in here."
Yeah.
Fucking weird.
So dumb, dude. The fucking cop shows are like they're some of the. I mean, they're better than the Netflix reality shows that you make us watch. But
That makes me think of this one really terrible show that used to be on like CBS or some shit. It was about like this elite team of super geniuses who was gonna like work for the police to like I don't know deal with their issues.
Is that a didgeridoo?
it's something's talking.
Oh,
I'd like some didgeridoos in this Japanese
okay.
game.
Speaks didgeridoo.
Oh shit! What?
It's another yokai.
Huh. It's like a
Man.
one-eyed marshmallow man.
Yeah. He wants to work out.
S'mores.
He's had enough s'mores.
Nagatama.
There you go.
This is dude jerking off to a picture.
What?
Gaze upon her for as long as I want. The trouble of life just seemed to melt.
So I guess he just like jerked off in this room until he died.
So,
Creepy.
this hotel and oh, but he owns the hotel.
Huh.
Well, and then the yokai like blocked the door so he couldn't leave, and he was like, it's fine, I got this picture.
I'm not going to ask what that yokai is made out of, man.
Nah.
What? Was it a good picture? Is the picture still here?
Yeah, is that it?
I think that was the picture. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like a drawing.
I wouldn't do it for
I'm
me.
not impressed.
Yeah.
You wouldn't jerk off to that?
No,
No. It's a hard no.
it was a hard no.
But yeah, so there's this fucking terrible show. I don't remember if they work for the police or they work for the government. They're supposed to be these elite team of super geniuses. Like only they could come up with these clever solutions to all these.
Was there an
problems.
acronym in the name?
Probably, I don't remember
I
exactly.
feel like that most of them do.
But like, there was an episode where like there was some sort of government plane that had like some sort of malfunction, and they had to save the plane because I guess the pilots on board the plane couldn't do anything for some reason. And so their plan was.
Pilots can't fly the plane. Get somebody else in here.
What their plan is to drive really fast under the plane and have the pilots dangle a USB cord out of the window of the plane so they could connect it to this guy's laptop. And that was going to run the plane for them.
No.
That was actually in the fucking show.
How long of a
Oh my
USB
God.
cord did they have?
They somehow got the plane down to like, I don't know, like 50 feet off the ground or something, and then they're like driving along with this car like
That's
underneath
a long USB cord. Dude. Like, honestly,
I don't know if I believe that exists,
you
dude.
can't fly consistently 50 feet off the ground. That is fucking bull.
There was like a huge like
Shit.
jetliner
That
or
is
cargo
bullshit.
plane type thing too.
Oh my god, and they were just
Yeah, no
hanging a
horseshit.
fucking
Yeah.
USB out of it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Absolute horseshit.
and then what? And then the car was pacing so perfectly they were able to keep it plugged into the laptop?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You guys just don't get it because you're not smart enough for this.
Apparently,
Super
apparently, man. Wow,
That's
stupid.
like, wow. Okay.
I should find
Every
it.
time.
You guys watch it. So it's on.
Every time I think these cop shows can't get dumber.
They find
Every
a
time
way.
they find a way.
Life finds a
They
way.
find cop shows find a way.
I was at Quick Trip the other day
Yeah.
buying a fucking donut. I looked up.
You
know
didn't
what
elect
I
to go
saw?
to Come and Go.
Come and go.
That's a real
They
gas
have-
station chain.
Do they have
Oh.
come and goes here though?
I
know that's
have.
a real chain.
I have 100% seen them.
Ah, okay. I mean, I know they exist. I don't know if I've gone to one here.
That just makes it. I wonder if that's because there's
They sell quite a bit of merch.
Of course they do.
Unsurprisingly.
How long have they been around?
Long time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
With a K.
positive.
It's
that
come,
makes-
come with a K.
That makes it even worse. But that
At
makes
least it's only one.
K-U-M. Come and go.
But that makes me think of in the Fallout games, I believe there was like a gas station brand where you look at the sign and it says something like "fill her up, pump and go" or something like that. I wonder if that was
I
like,
saw a gas station called Pump and Munch.
Pump and
Pump and
Munch.
munch.
Pump and Munch. And then in Colorado, there was a chain called Loaf and Jug.
Wolf and Jug?
Loaf. Like a
Loaf
loaf of
and-
bread, and it's called Loaf and Jug.
Huh.
Yeah, one of the strangest gas stations I've ever seen. Pump and Munch I really like.
Yeah,
I like
good.
that one. That's good.
Hello, cat. Bye, cat.
What were we talking about before? Oh yeah, I was getting a donut. Getting a donut at Quick Trip, man.
Was it a Krispy Kreme?
No, I wish.
Nobody creamed in it.
Nobody creamed on my donut. But I looked up, you know
There's
what?
a great Tom
you know what I
Waits song
saw?
where he says that, like, in Minneapolis, the donuts have names like prostitutes. It's Krispy Kreme.
Honestly, though. So wait, who came on your donut now?
No, I looked up. You know what I saw?
What'd you see?
You know what I saw?
Somebody about to come on your donut.
It made me even more angry than if somebody came on my donut.
More angry than if someone came. Okay, what happened?
Dude, I'm at the gas
Did you
station.
shit on it?
No, I'm at
They
the.
stick their dick in the hole.
It wasn't frosting. It wasn't chocolate
Dude,
frosting
I'm at
before.
the gas station. I'm at the gas. I've accepted a lot of places I can't go.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, were there gnomes?
Yeah, there's a fucking gnome.
Yes.
There's a fucking little wooden gnome right on top of the donut case, just chilling there. I was like, why? Why at the gas station do you need a gnome? Like, I understand.
I told you they were coming to
I
gas
understand. I can't go. You did. You
I
said
warned
that
you.
shit. You did
He
say
did
that.
say that. Yes, he did.
Yep.
I tried to protect you.
You know, every home furnishing store I've been to has been selling gnomes lately. Like, doesn't matter which one.
They're taking over, man.
I can't buy just some random shit for my house without seeing gnomes. But the fact that I can't go to the gas station, like, that's absurd.
The gnomes are filling
That
up
is
your car.
absurd, dude.
Oh, they'll be filling you up soon.
I think they already do that.
Wouldn't be going.
That's true.
You're not gonna be able to go to the dentist. Probably
Wouldn't
wouldn't
be
be able to
able to
go.
get
Gnomes coming in your
You're not
mouth.
even gonna be able to go to the brothel, dude. There's like a gnome on the nightstand that you put money under, like.
Like what? Like the tooth fairy? The gnome won't fuck you if you don't put the money under the pillow.
You gotta go to the you go to the brothel and you gotta pay extra so the women don't dress as gnomes.
Oh God. Just be like.
That's the real service they're providing.
I'm sitting there just like God damn it. They get you for everything.
Oh man.
It's like, yeah, I'll do the $20 no hat fee.
That's another $50 no beard fee.
I think I'm gonna go home and masturbate.
To and up,
Yeah.
obviously.
We didn't put the gnomes in the gas stations.
Yeah, I don't. That actually really didn't piss me.
I also didn't
Oh,
put the
is this
gnome.
takoyaki stand? No, they do yakisoba noodles.
Hey man, like I didn't put the gnome fleshlight in your sock drawer. Don't come complaining to me.
That's the funny part. Is like as much as we've made fun of you about the gnomes and gotten you gnomes, like we're not orchestrating the societal change.
No, and this is brand new. Like I've hated gnomes for a while, but this is the first like that I've started to notice gnomes in places that they have no reasonable need to be. I never got mad when I saw a gnome on the lawn. Like I understood that came with the territory.
At least it felt like it was their place.
Well, yeah, it's like where they live.
You like gnomes when they stay in their place.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like gnomes at all, but like, I'm not going to be upset if if I
In their
see it in a
place.
place that I expect it
It's
to
under
be.
butt.
Well, I was just gonna say under you.
Well, sometimes he likes them on top.
Yeah, that's fair.
You gotta have a little variety, you know.
Right, you can't always be a bottom for the gnomes. Get this real quick.
Yeah, no, we're in a gnome moment right now.
No,
A gnomon.
A
A
gnomon.
gnomon?
Yeah, we're in a gnomon.
Jesus.
pretty good.
Shut up.
I like it.
Oh man.
I'm surprised there haven't been any more like gnome movies.
Yeah, there hasn't been any gnome.
Not really
I haven't really
lately,
seen
but
any gnome fiction right now.
I'm sure
Gnomes,
somebody's
Gnomes
taking
fan
notes.
fiction,
gnomes are like an aesthetic right now, less than like a narrative device.
Well, that's how narrative devices start, right?
I don't know. Is it?
It will be in this case. You just deflect your fireballs with umbrella.
It does fuck up. Yes, but it also fucks up the umbrella. So you can use it as a shield, but
I wish my umbrella could do that. Throw traffic cones at you and everything.
they are sons of bitches. We got Slenderman. We got Slenderman with an untucked shirt. We have not so Slenderman. Ah!
Oh shit.
This is like the Slender family. This is like if Eddie Murphy played Slenderman. And to have like
Eddie Murphy.
7 different size and shape Slendermans in the play.
Oop.
So what does the water one do? Because we know what the fire one's like, we know what the green one's like. What's special about the blue one?
I really don't think the water's all that great until you start to level it up, and then at that point, it's kind of like a shotgun.
Okay.
You guys saw Nutty Professor, right?
Yeah.
A long time ago.
That was forever ago.
Shit was terrible. Still better than normal.
Yeah,
Well,
Nutty
I
Professor
think
is one of the, I'd say, less offensive of the fat suit playing 5-character movies. Out of all the ones that exist, that's probably like the one I dislike the least.
Why aren't there so many of those?
Marlon Wayans did one for Netflix just a couple years ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Why do they always make the black comedians do such stupid fucking movies? They always make them wear the fat suit and like.
I mean, with like the Marlon Wayans though, like that's them choosing.
That was his idea.
The Wayans do that, but I'm just saying, like, why'd they make Martin Lawrence play Big Mama?
Did he not? I mean, was it truly that he didn't want to? There's a knife in there.
I don't think Martin Lawrence wanted to be Big Mama.
You think that? You
Does he
think
seem
that was
like the kind of guy
who?
who's like really wanted to do that movie?
I don't
Like,
know,
the
man. He hasn't
Wayans
had like
seem
the
they
most
really-
highbrow career in the world.
No, but he seemed like he has some self-respect.
But he did that movie.
So that's why I wondered why that movie happened.
Well, maybe he didn't have self-respect.
Ah, that's a good point.
Maybe that's not true after all.
What did
Maybe he used to.
What did Abdi call him? Martian Lawrence?
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Yeah. Martian Lawrence. Yep.
I think he was talking about Denzel Washington too. He was talking about.
I think he
Martian
was.
Lawrence.
Yeah, he had.
Did you get that wrong?
Yeah, I
Jesus
think,
Christ.
I don't remember what.
It's always very
I
hard
don't
to-
remember what Denzel Washington movie he was talking about, but he said that. Martian,
Thank God
that
Denzel Washington has not done a fat suit.
Martian
comedy.
Lawrence was in it, and it was like, no, that was Denzel Washington.
Can you imagine if Denzel Washington did one of those horrible fat suit comedies?
That'd be sad. He's kept his career pretty clean. Man.
Yeah,
What if
no,
like Morgan Freeman did it? That'd be sad.
Has Morgan Freeman done?
he's been in some bad stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he's been in anything
Nothing
where he embarrassed
degrading.
himself.
That's
Yeah,
the thing is, I
right.
feel like he's usually had respectable roles, even if not always
Even if
respectable
they're not
movies.
good movies.
Yeah, like I mean, I remember him being in that movie Lucy with the whole 10% of your brain
Oh,
thing
yeah.
with Scarlett Johansson, which was not great, but I wouldn't say that's like
It's not
Scarlett
his fault.
Johansson makes some pretty bad.
she's been in
As
some
an action-
terrible stuff.
As an action lead, she's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's better in like dramas or
Mhm.
I mean like she works with a good script behind her, but like
Right.
I mean not exactly
Well, it also doesn't help
selective
that,
with the stuff
that
she does.
like I feel like they've decided that there can be like one storyline that
Mm-hmm.
all female-led action movies have to follow, basically.
Yeah.
That they all seem very similar to each other for whatever reason.
Many of them do. I do think
I don't know, a few of them are as stupid as Black Widow.
I mean that was particularly bad.
It definitely seemed like it followed that same basic plot line. Like, you remember that movie Salt with
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie?
Yeah,
They
that is
all-
similar.
They
That is
all,
similar.
a lot of those female-led action movies basically have that same script. I couldn't tell you what the first movie to have that script was.
You know what? I remember what I mean. It wasn't. I guess it wasn't a female led. She was more like a co-lead. But Emily Blunt in Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh,
She was really badass in that. That's actually like.
Edge of Tomorrow was great.
Yeah, no, that was actually good. The like level of like ripped and muscular she was for a female like action star is basically become. That's literally like I was just reading because Natalie Portman is like super jacked to play Thor,
Yeah.
right? That like literally any female actress that goes to like a trainer for an action movie now and wants to get buff is I want to look like Emily Blunt in Edge of Tomorrow. That's like the
Okay.
industry standard. Like when Brad Pitt in Fight Club was the industry standard, Emily Blunt in Edge of Tomorrow is now like the industry standard for what they want to like what kind of musculature they want these female characters to have.
Interesting.
I mean, she did look pretty badass in that movie.
And that's an example of it being done well.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
But it's always hard to do things well.
Well, you always get a couple people that do it well, and then a
Which means
million.
And then it becomes
Yeah.
a genre onto itself.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it just...
Well, like how many of the Dark Souls like games not made by From Software are actually good?
Like almost none of them.
Like there might be one or two, but I mean,
There was one I
What's
can't
in
remember
the
the
mall?
name. What?
Is there anything good in this mall?
Let's see. We got what is this? We go in there?
Yeah, this is
We can go in here.
Oh, shit.
Oh, okay.
Got some more kids to kill.
Cool.
And, we got a good, like, brands in here. I want to go shopping.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering
I
about.
haven't been to the mall in a while. Well,
Yeah, I worked at the mall for long enough, and I do not like going to the malls anymore. They're just...
Don't you think it's weird that, like, I think we can all agree that school shootings are bad?
Where are you going with that?
Are you going to offer a dissenting opinion?
No, I know. I'm just saying. You remember that song "Pumped Up Kicks"?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
How
yeah.
fucking weird was it that you could like walk into Target and they'd be playing that? Meanwhile, like
I think they tried to sell Nikes with it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, dude. But like people were still like, I mean, that was at the height of people like freaking out about school shootings, and everybody was in Target going like, "Pump, better run, outrun my gun." And I was like,
Yeah, well, it's a dark society.
Now, what do you expect from people like hypocrites?
I don't know. I think a lot of people just don't even listen to the lyrics to music or think,
absolutely.
or think about them at all.
If
Like,
it's sort of peppy and dancey, people will just be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
whatever."
they're not. Yeah, they're not
I mean,
paying
that's why
attention
so
to what
many
the
of those
song's
songs don't even
about.
bother with having halfway decent lyrics, you know?
yeah,
Or if they
it's
do,
it's
they're
just
fucked
the
up and
chorus
people don't
7
notice.
times.
Right,
Yeah.
it's just a chorus of like, fuck me in my ass over and over.
Well, that did happen actually because it was used in a
That
German
German
commercial for
commercial.
learning English.
But that was like at least an intentional
That was
joke.
That's
that
true.
was such a good. That
That's
was
true.
one of the best commercials.
I want to fuck you in the ass.
The
grandma
fucking German,
even.
Yeah, the German family just bobbing along, and it's like, want to learn English?
Now, was the commercial just fucking with people who might want to learn English and they didn't know what that song was saying, or was it a warning to people who knew a little bit and knew, well, shit, I better learn more?
Yeah, I think
this
this
doesn't happen to me.
Probably, I think it was the idea that German people probably at least know the word fuck.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, I mean that's got to be world.
Just yeah,
I think what comes out of an
yeah.
ass, I think they know what it means.
And also, I mean, just like everyone in the world is exposed to enough English language entertainment to at least know the word fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too.
Yeah,
So
well,
I
at
think-
least you're like Europe and stuff.
Yeah. So I think I think it was supposed to be like, yeah, obviously you know what they're saying, but you also don't want to look as ignorant to them as them if you hear some English you don't know what it says.
That
Right.
was kind of my read on it as well.
Right.
What are we talking about?
It's just from one thing to the next, man. I don't even know.
Yeah, how'd they bring up that ass fuck? Oh, we were talking about how people don't listen to the lyrics.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's people don't really think critically about anything, right? I mean, oh shit. Look at how well some absolutely brainless movies like Venom do, or Morbius. Well, actually, Morbius. Well, it did
Fucky
okay.
das.
What?
Fucky das.
Where?
What?
That's the skyscraper says fucky das.
It sure does.
Oh, it does. Shit, I thought you were just having a stroke.
No, I was speaking Japanese.
I mean, that wouldn't be the first time, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Come on. There we go. Doom Eternal platforming, this is not.
No.
Oh shit, crushes in the sky, dude. With diamonds.
Crutches in the sky with diamonds.
Which one of them is crippled?
All of them?
But there's
It's
only
more-
2 crushes.
It's almost more like the spirits are impaled by crutches.
Ah.
That sounds kind of badass, actually.
It's like somebody got stabbed with them.
It would be pretty tough to stab somebody.
That'd be like a cool, like, Mortal
It would
Kombat
hurt.
character if they've got, like, crutches, but it's also their best asset.
It'd be interesting.
I mean, the last Joker in the last Mortal Kombat had a whole move where he just dragged someone in a wheelchair from off screen. And
But he wasn't in a wheelchair.
Well, that's true. That's true. That would be a different story.
That should be the next Pixar movie. Is they should do a Pixar movie
Or
called,
people get
It's
stabbed
just
by
called
crutches.
crutches.
no, called Rascals. It'd be like
The
Cars.
rascal race.
But it'd be like Cars, but at Walmart.
Would they be like Lightning McQueen where there's no people around and it's just like an animated rap?
No, I think
Or
there
would they have
have
like a...
There have to be people because I just want to see the moment that some massive fucking fat person sits on one of them.
And then the rascals come to life and overthrow the humanoid.
I think it'd be kind of great if
It's like the idea of them racing and they're like, no! like down the aisle, like just dragging themselves like they're dying.
I think it'd be kind of great if like the rascals are like sentient, like cars, right? But and like people sit on them, but it's almost like the people, like the rascals don't really like interact with people.
Yeah, so
than,
the
like,
people feel mindless.
Yeah, and like the people, like they kind of seem like something's wrong because they think they're talking and driving around by themselves, but they're too lazy to get up and do anything about it.
Oh, okay.
Is she wearing a tinfoil hat, or does she have a tinfoil hat?
I like the idea of like the
100% sure.
rascals, but like with not really having a concept of what people are. So then it'd be like, oh, hey, shut up, one of them's coming over again. Shh, stay still. Ah, god damn it. Not again.
Yeah, like you have the plot be like a newly made rascal. It's like getting sent to like his first like job at a Walmart or whatever, right?
Oh yeah, dude, it's like it's like by the aisle with the carts.
Yeah.
And then there's an old rascal. He's got like 4 flat tires and a broken seat. And he comes like wandering out around the corner. He's like, "Oh my god, what happened to you?" And it's like, "You'll find out soon."
There's a big one.
I'd watch that Pixar movie. It's better than whatever garbage Pixar's putting out now.
Well, Soul was great.
I like Soul.
Yeah,
They still put good ones out sometimes.
But then also they make stuff like The Good Dinosaur and Cars.
Or Luca, which I thought was absolute fucking trash.
I haven't seen Luca.
Man, it really is like if you watch that movie, you're gonna come away thinking that Italians could care about literally nothing else except for a Vespa.
You mean they care about other things?
I mean, it literally is like 2 kids like trying to be like obsessed with a Vespa, going like, if we get the Vespa, we'll have the life. Like, it's literally that entire movie.
Huh. Is that Taco Bell?
What?
Your Taco Bell
Con
over there?
Pieto. They do have a Taco Bell. They do have Taco Bell in Japan. They have an exclusive menu, dude.
Thought that was
What's
Taco
on the menu?
Bell logo there. Yeah, what's on the menu at Taco
They
Bell?
got like
I
squid
wish I knew.
tacos.
I knew, because I was listening to Rage Select, and one of the guests on that show, Matt Frank, is a actual legit comic book artist that has done like a bunch of work for like IDW and like worked on like Godzilla comics and stuff. And he was talking about how they have an entire exclusive menu. You got like tempura stuff. And,
oh yeah, I mean all the fast food restaurants have different menus.
They're always better in other countries.
Yes, definitely better. Oh,
stun talismans.
so here's a new kind of new combat thing for us.
I saw a thing that was talking about how they got started eating fried chicken for Christmas in Japan.
Yeah, that's a tradition, man.
Yep, and the KFC fried chicken specifically.
Yep.
But they were.
Oh yeah, going to KFC it is literally Christmas tradition.
But they were interviewing the guy who owns the KFC franchise in Japan, who started that tradition or whatever. And he's like, yeah. And then after I started it, I got interviewed by like Japanese public television or whatever, and they asked him, they were like, so is eating fried chicken a big tradition overseas? And he said he was like,
and shit his pants.
Yes. And he's like, and I lied.
He's just made that up.
Yeah, he's like, I lied.
Why not, man?
Yeah, why not? Whatever. So yeah, no, I mean, people from Japan are like genuinely shocked that nobody eats fried chicken on Christmas.
Well, they haven't tried the KFC here.
Yeah. They might not be shocked anymore.
I remember walking into KFCs in China and being like, oh my god, these are clean. And like, this food looks appetizing.
It looks like it's not only appetizing, but edible.
Yeah.
McDonald's was pretty good in Japan. For sure.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the first McDonald's is any good?
What do you mean?
Like
the one on Route 66. The one on Route 66. Like the actual original diner.
Like in California.
It was probably pretty alright.
I think the original McDonald's are closed. I think the oldest.
Yeah, I don't think it's around anymore.
One's in
but
Chicago, actually. That's,
it? Okay.
Yeah, that's where McDonald's is headquartered now.
Well, I believe it was on Route 66, the very, very original one, but that was like
it
a
might have been.
legitimate diner.
Yeah.
It might have been. I'm pretty sure it was in California. I watched that. What was that? The Founder, with Michael Keaton. He played Ray Kroc, the guy who stole the idea for McDonald's.
Yeah.
That was a pretty sad story, dude. Those the actual McDonald's, like the people whose last name was McDonald, they got fucked.
That's the way of it, though.
You know?
That's like every business.
It was so smart. He was like, you guys still own the restaurants, you own the whole company. I'm just taking the franchising rights. That was the deal. He's like, don't worry, you guys still own this. And then he immediately went and franchised thousands of McDonald's, and they didn't get shit.
It's a scam for you.
He fucked up.
Yeah, so I just don't trust like professional businessmen.
Right. I mean, to be fair, they probably never would have turned McDonald's into what he turned it into, but
which in America might be a little bit less fat.
Yeah.
We would have gotten here.
Found ways to get fat.
Yeah, you're right. We would have gotten here eventually.
Well, I mean, before fast food, Americans were just going to especially in the 50s and stuff. We're going to ridiculous supper clubs where you're getting a 30-ounce steak.
You know what? That was food, though.
Yeah, they ate pretty good in the 50s, man.
Certain people ate.
Yeah, if you had a middle class lifestyle in the 50s, you ate a lot of stuff.
I mean, the issue with fast food and the obesity pandemic, it really did kind of target the poor in particular.
Yes.
When did that really start to kick in? How bad that actually could get? Was it the 80s?
It's always been a bitch to get fresh food into the city.
Yes.
Right.
And fresh food always costs more. It also comes down to just when you're broke, you don't spend a lot of time thinking about your health.
That's true.
I think people underestimate what a big factor that is, because they've tried to bring fresh food and stuff into inner cities and food deserts, and been this will, by providing access, this will solve the problem, and it didn't solve the problem at all.
Right.
The food ended up getting spoiled. And I think it is really people don't think that much about their health when they're already concerned about survival.
Just getting food.
You think about getting full is what you think about.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, I mean, some of the few comforts in your life when you're flat out broke is that you can afford to buy something that's fatty and salty and sweet.
Because it'll make you feel good in the short term.
It's one of the few luxuries that you have. And genuinely, it's usually cheaper than buying fresh veggies and then going home and cooking and shit like that.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, man. Well, I mean, the number of people that I've heard this, but personally myself, but the number of people that you could ask them where their food comes from, and they will legitimately straight-faced look at you and say the grocery store. There's no thought as to any process before it's at the grocery store.
There's a lot of people,
especially kids who aren't being taught that.
Yeah, right.
How you consider that food doesn't have to come from a farm? I don't know.
Well, I mean, one of these days we'll figure out how to grow shit in labs, right?
Well, we can kind of do some of that already, but it's not enough for mass production.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, not enough for mass production.
Have you seen the direction the whole lab-grown meat industry is going?
What are they doing?
So they're
going to grow the human meat.
Yeah, get that cannibal meat going.
Yeah, basically. They realized that they'll never be able, or at least in the short term, they're not going to be able to get it to a price point to compete with,
regular
meat.
Like factory farm meat.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to be able to compete with the price of beef or the price of pork.
Right.
But what they're doing now is they're starting to genetically engineer the flesh of endangered animals.
Smart.
So, if you want to know what a tiger tastes like, they're working on that right now.
Interesting.
Stuff. So that's going to be.
So they're going to grow stuff that you wouldn't be able to get a hold of.
Legally cannot eat.
Right.
Yeah, so then if they charge you $70 a pound, well, shit.
For fake tiger meat.
An actual tiger meat on the black market would cost you way more and be morally questionable.
Right.
So,
I mean, if you didn't actually have to kill a tiger to get it, I mean, I'll
be right back.
would you try it?
I'd try.
I'd probably try it. I guess I'm a little skeevy on the whole lab-grown meat thing.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. So, some of the sci-fi bullshit.
It might be fine, but they are like really genetically fucking with it.
You know what? It's probably partially made out of bugs.
Probably. But my question is just like, with all that genetic engineering, what is the effect on your body?
Right.
Like, especially if you're designing, I don't know how they grow the meat. But my assumption is that they some combination of like amino acids and things like that stimulate cell growth.
Right.
If I eat it, it's not gonna make me grow more, right? Like it's gonna be inert by the time.
That could be the real plan.
Devil's advocate here, though. I mean, considering how much genetic engineering and drugs and chemicals get pumped into regular farms,
right?
Would you already have that concern about normal meat?
Well, I mean, the meat is not being treated with things designed to stimulate cell growth. The ton of hormones and stuff like that we already know negatively affects people. Like, it's why, I mean, women hit puberty so much earlier now because of all the hormones in milk and shit like that. Like, that's just a scientific fact. So yeah, I mean, that shit already fucks with you. I don't want to be eating my tiger steak and then whatever stimulates the cell growth in the tiger steak is like in my liver or something. In my liver and like just growing down, like causing cell growth in my internal organs.
But what if you're like an old man and you're not going to live forever?
Well,
it's whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Like, that's like, I'll get to the point where my grandpa was at some point where I'm like washing down my morning pills with like, vodka and whiskey and shit.
I think it'd be great to like try out like a taste of every like kind of meat in the world.
Yeah, I think it's I don't see any problem with it.
What do you think panda tastes like?
I don't know.
Bet China doesn't want you to know. Okay, so we got.
I've heard bear meat's very greasy. I've never eaten it, but I've heard it's super, super greasy.
Well, I mean, if you've been at the club all night and you pick it up, I mean, I'm sure it is.
How's gnome meat?
Don't know, dude.
Is it greasy?
You ever tried a gnome sausage in your town?
No.
Is there like a mushroom taste in there anyway? You know what is interesting though? Like you should talk about cell growth and all that stuff. Not too long ago, I heard I was listening to a podcast, and the scientist was talking about right, like how like telomeres work, right?
Right.
In your DNA and stuff, and that essentially, like all that stuff is you aging and kind of cell growth eventually like dying out is all based kind of around your telomeres, right?
Yeah.
And that when someone has cancer, it's those particular telomeres are not aging.
Yeah, they stay the same.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's the interesting concept.
That's why
like
cancer is kind of immortal.
Yeah, the idea that immortality itself has been scientifically been discovered, and that's what cancer is.
There's a woman who
crazy to think about, right?
She died of cancer like forever ago, but they had taken like a sample of her cancer cells.
Yeah.
And like they keep it in a lab somewhere, and it's still alive today. So it's like a part of her that is like immortal.
Yeah, see that isn't that crazy? I think there's some potentially very, very cool like sci-fi movie something you could do.
I swear someone must have done that.
What's that?
Someone must have done something like that at some point. It probably sucked, but
right. Well, maybe we can get a good one.
In order to beat cancer, I became cancer.
I'm Cancer Man.
Cancer Man.
I'm Cancer Man.
Smoke 3 packs a day, live in a microwave.
But the tragic backstory is that he watched his parents die of cancer in an alleyway outside the theater.
So he was going to become cancer.
He's in the fucking alley. His parents are wasting away day after day.
They got like respirators.
He's like, no!
See a pearl necklace roll down the street or whatever.
Oh, that's great. I honestly though, if I never see that scene recreated again, it'll be too soon.
Yeah, they've done that so many times.
That's part of what I liked about the new Batman movie is they didn't do that. Like they talked about you know, a little bit, but it was never an actual plot element.
It does get old having to get the origin story every time.
Well, that's why, like, when they introduced Spider-Man in Civil War, it was so clever because, you know...
We didn't have to watch him get bitten by a spider again.
Well, not even just... I mean, there's that part, but also Uncle Ben, right? The entire Uncle Ben death, we're just like, we're just gonna... Because essentially what they did was, when Tony meets up with them, Peter, he has the whole thing about, well, you know, when bad things happen and you could have done something and you didn't, and the bad thing happens, it's your fault it happened. And so it's just very simple, like one little scene. And the new Batman does a pretty good job of sidestepping. It's like there's a very famous Batman comic called Year One that's very much an origin story. It's what Batman Begins is largely based off on. Sure. And this new movie is kind of described as a Batman Year Two story. It's like the origins happened. He's been Batman. He's encountered a couple of villains, like the Joker has already come and gone, but he's still early in his career, so he's still capable of making mistakes and having some serious fuck ups some of the time. But he's also not like a veteran either.
Right.
And I wish more, at least the ones that we've seen a ton of, characters that we've seen their origin multiple times.
Does it say Dairy Ninja? Oh, Daily Ninja.
Daily Ninja.
What's going
on?
on?
Daily Ninja.
Yeah, check it out. Is that like a newspaper for ninjas?
I thought it said Dairy Ninja for a little bit.
Now that's a brand name.
It's like a ramen place.
Yeah, I don't know, sorry, like a beef bowl or something.
A beef bowl?
Oh, that's an Odin right there. No?
Oh,
should call it
okay.
Beef Ninja.
Okay. Shibuki.
Shibuki.
If any Japanese viewers want to correct our
horrible pronunciation,
our American pronunciation of anything, please feel free to in the comments.
Called Uwa?
Tell us how stupid we are.
What's that one say up there? It's just like Oorah.
Uwa. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Not sure what that means.
There's another beef bowl there. Okay.
What do we got here? I can't remember.
That's in English.
Yeah, no English.
Surprises me how much of it is.
Whoa, what?
Okay.
Muslim cops?
Those are like.
That's like a K-pop girl band, but in like UAE.
Those are like the spirit.
Face.
That's the thing. A lot of spirits in Japanese mythology have they're like well, like even I mean it's not they're talismans.
Oh,
right.
Like they're very much like this kind of thing.
Okay. Huh.
Just wear some paper on your face.
A lot of like spirits of people have.
Hey, they're
have
smart.
those.
They're already getting protected from COVID.
Yeah.
Baku.
It's like the capital of Azerbaijan.
Omega Pojishon? What?
Pojishon.
Pojishon.
Farted.
I don't know. Why'd you fart say?
What?
The noise.
Oh. It's like, I don't smell anything. It's a nice car.
Did we steal it?
Oh, wow.
Nah,
That's
unfortunately.
Lamborghini.
So I've heard about these like underground like malls because this is like goes down to the subway.
Yeah,
these things are supposed to be fucking huge.
There are like department stores that stretch for like a few blocks, and they have a subway underneath it that'll go from one end of the department store to the other. Tokyo is so densely packed in.
Right.
That's the thing. We don't
It's
understand
like
living.
Tetris with people.
It's
living
such a
on
tiny
top of
place.
each
You know,
other.
you gotta densely pack it.
Well, it's just like it's hemmed in by the mountains, and it's the largest city on Earth. So they just have started to have to build on top of each other. Basically.
Well, isn't it Tokyo that's created like quite a bit of artificial land?
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
like-
I went out to Odaiba, which is there used to be like 7 islands in Tokyo harbor that they put like cannons on or whatever to defend the harbor, but they ended up bulldozing all 4 islands and filling in the space in between and building this island called Odaiba.
Huh.
They have like a
Do what you gotta
mall and some corporate headquarters. I think Sony's headquartered out of there or something.
Well, global warming's gonna fuck that place up.
Yeah, probably.
What about what was the place that like it was Japan that tried to build the artificial land to like have like anti-aircraft guns pointed towards China, and then China dropped starfish.
Oh, they were building a coral reef.
Yeah, that's what it was.
There was like some sort of treaty
That's
where
so funny.
they couldn't They couldn't build artificial land, but it didn't say anything about reefs. So they're like, we'll just put this reef here, and if it just happens to grow to the point where we can build stuff on top of it, you know.
Right, and then they just drop coral-eating starfish.
They airdrop starfish onto it.
And then they just ate all of it. That's the most petty fucking shit. That, like,
It's the kind of shit China does, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seen how bad the lockdown in Shanghai is?
Dude,
Oh my god, dude.
People are starving, man.
Yeah, they don't, like,
they won't
supplies
let
are
them
cut off.
outside.
Well, like, I think a lot of
rationing and shit.
Americans
They're like
in particular
screaming
don't.
out of the window at night.
Oh, yeah. I really don't think a lot of Americans, because of our diet right here and how much processed food most Americans eat, I don't think most Americans realize that Chinese people don't eat like that. They don't eat that much processed food. They go to the market,
Yeah,
like,
they go grocery
constantly.
shopping like every day, every couple
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
And I really think a lot of Americans are looking at, because I've heard people be like, well, you know, when are we going to lock down? When we should lock down again? And I'm like, okay. Part of the reason it's going so badly is because they eat
They haven't
fresh,
had any.
clean food all the
Right.
time. You might feel like you can be locked down because you're going to survive off of Hot Pockets for 3 months, but people in China, well, at least most people in China, are not doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the reasons that China's had to double down on the lockdown so hard is they haven't allowed it to spread through the country at all.
So there
So
is
they're
no natural immunity.
They're at like day one for COVID still.
No, they do have a higher vaccination rate.
They do.
I heard that the
I've heard their
vaccination
vaccine
rate among the elderly is actually really tiny.
Yeah, the elderly people in general don't give a fuck about COVID in China. I mean, even when the pandemic first started, there were old fucks in China who were just like, I don't give a shit. They just walk down the street and then almost like the lockdown.
I mean, I respect that.
I did see a pretty funny video of like
I'm tired of living.
ancient
If it gets me, it gets me.
an ancient woman in China. She had to be like getting close to 90, if not already.
Sure.
And the COVID testing people were there trying to test her. She had a stick, and she just kept on hitting them with the stick, just yelling at them.
That's amazing.
But it's crazy in China, like in Shanghai, they made it so you cannot go to like a pharmacy for like basic drugs
Yep.
without a prescription. Like for anything, really.
Right, like
But
you need aspirin, you need a prescription.
particularly anything that is like, if you have medicine for COVID-related symptoms, which
Right.
can be anything.
Right,
Because, I mean, how many fucking different illnesses are there where you can have a sore throat or you can
right, or a
have-
cough, or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's-
and they didn't really have a plan for all the random situations that were going to arise. Because I know I saw a video of some guy leaning out the window of his apartment, like yelling at this old man in the street, like, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you hungry or whatever?" And the guy came over, and he'd been sleeping outside for 2 days because he came in from the countryside to have like open heart surgery.
Jesus.
And then they canceled it,
Yep.
locked the hospital, and he didn't have a hotel, and you couldn't rent a hotel after the lockdown went into effect. So he was sleeping outside when he was supposed to be having open heart surgery.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say is
Yeah.
if you need a doctor's prescription in order to go to a pharmacy, the
Right.
thing is, if you go to a hospital, you want to see a doctor for any reason, they will not let you. If you go to
Yep.
the ER, if you've got like a fucking like pat
Gunshot
car
wound.
like
Yep.
through your head,
Yeah.
they're going to make you sit and they're going to give you a COVID test before
Yep.
they even do anything.
Oh man! Well, I mean, I was seeing some straight up just footage of some of this stuff going on, and like there was this one woman being interviewed who has tested, had it, recovered, tested negative multiple times, and they still wouldn't actually let her leave the quarantine
Yep.
facilities
There's another case where there's
or
this-
tell her when.
so
Yeah.
crazy.
There's this couple who had like a newborn baby at a hospital or something, right? And they were like tested for COVID and like tested negative, right? And so they went to go home, right? But then like the police came to get them and were like, you know,
Jeez.
you guys got to go to the COVID ward. You got to
Right.
stay there because, you know, we got to make sure you don't have COVID. And they're like, but we tested negative. And they're like, that doesn't matter. You got to go to the COVID ward. And we're going to arrest you if you don't.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just it's some of the.
I can't believe people
signs.
want that here, man.
There's like signs.
Regularly, I get
Nobody
people-
wants that here. It's just that people don't know what's going on in China.
Well, I guess that's true, but they say they want harsh lockdown. But they don't understand what that entails, I guess. But they say they want harsh lockdowns. I've literally heard people say we should be doing what China's doing
Really?
in person.
Do
Yes.
they know what
But it's-
China's doing?
Well, that's the thing is I don't think they understand the details. They just think lockdown's good because governments say so.
But like, who's dying of COVID anymore, dude?
I mean, people are still dying of COVID, just not as frequently as they were at the outset of the pandemic. Plus, there are new variants of COVID coming out. I think the one in China is a new variant, and I think there's a new one in Europe as well.
I just sooner or
They seem to keep being less deadly each time, though.
Which is good.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
the natural.
But-
that's the
but then-
natural
We should be
progression.
letting those versions.
It's the natural progression of it.
I mean, that's just how viruses work.
Yeah,
it's
right.
basic virology, and yet we're the
There are
reaction.
some exceptions, though, like AIDS.
Sure,
Yeah.
there are exceptions
Well,
for
AIDS
sure,
is like
but
an immune. It like compromises your immune system.
Right.
And I mean, like, at least COVID's your typical disease in the fact that it like excites your immune response so much that it just causes massive inflammation and
right.
rather than like destroys your immune system. A lot of coronaviruses and stuff, just viruses in general, the major effects of them is your immune system freaking the fuck out,
Right.
and going overboard and causing more problems than
Right.
it solves.
Yeah. Because your body just kind of goes into panic mode and just sets off all the fucking levers at once.
Right.
Which is part of why the variety of symptoms was so. I mean, like why there was such a variety.
Yeah.
Look at these underground arcades and
Oh,
shit.
nice.
There's just so much
That's cool.
to this area.
I don't know, I like that they actually did a pretty good job of recreating these towns.
I mean, hey, you get people that live in Japan to do it.
Right.
Get an accurate ass representation of the city.
Japan.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. I mean, like how many there's the Yakuza series, but the open world areas in those games
What
are
do
always
they got
small.
in the arcade?
Yeah, what kind of stuff we got here?
Let's see what.
Multiverse?
Multiverse and
That
the
same thing.
Fuji show.
Not Metaverse, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fuck the metaverse, dude.
Blue
Blue
Earth.
Earth? What's Blue Earth?
I don't know.
Blue Earth.
I bet it stars Bruce Willis though.
Wild Fighters. What'd you say about Bruce Willis?
I said I bet
he
it
was in
stars
Blue
Bruce Willis.
Oh, okay.
God, Bruce Willis has said so much trash these days.
Well, that's not his fault, though. He got aphasia. He does!
I know.
Okay.
That's why you got that earpiece so he can be fed his lines.
Yeah, space aphasia, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it
He
was
got
space
that on the set
invasion.
of Armageddon.
He's got
The turbulent
space
quake.
dementia.
Yeah, I still can't believe that was an actual episode of Star Trek.
It was. I mean, I could absolutely believe it was an episode of Star Trek: Deep Space Nine.
I mean, I can't believe it was an episode of Star Trek, because Star Trek is fucking stupid half the time.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing that they even did that.
I would really love for us to be on the stream and for you and Michael to really get into a conversation about Star Trek, because I think he really sticks up for it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't
Pick
say
up
it
for all
doesn't.
Star Trek or just certain?
He definitely likes certain stuff way more than others, but I think he sticks up for the franchise in general more than I would.
I wonder what he thinks of Star Trek Picard.
I don't think he's a fan at all of Picard.
Dude, that series is shit that's so hard, and it was already it was things were a bit stinky already, in
Yeah.
the first season. But this,
People really seem to hate it. Well, what wasn't it? Isn't it the story now that he has had to travel back in time
Yep.
to the year 2024
Yep.
because some catastrophe happened that
So-
made America like the most racist
Yes.
civilization in the universe?
So the
And that's
plot
like
is-
that's the story.
so the plot
That's a
is
little
they-
on the nose.
Dude, it's
dude.
it's absolute woke brainwashing bullshit. That's
It's
100%
so
what it
poorly
is.
done, dude. So the
it's
plot
fucking garbage.
is that they, for some reason, they get sucked into like an alternate universe where the Federation is evil, right? Where the Federation, I don't know, it has
Which there's already the Mirror Universe from
Yeah,
the
they already
classic
have
Star Trek.
that,
Yeah,
but-
they could just use that.
But this is a
Star Trek
different one because
Discovery
reasons.
used that.
But yeah, so this is like some universe where every year the humans all celebrate their genocide of every other race in the galaxy or whatever. And all their ships are named things like World Razor instead of Discovery or whatever, right?
Okay.
And so they're like, oh my god, how could this have come to be? We should track the timeline and figure out what the year was when humanity went wrong. Oh my god, it was 2024!
And this was on this year. This is this year this was on.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So they go back in time.
It's trash.
It's these fucking Star Trek characters wandering around in ICE detention camps, be like, "Oh my god, how could they do something so heartless in 2024?"
They don't understand how much.
It's absolute
They
garbage.
don't understand how much that they're going to desensitize any like fear that you could create over the possibilities
Of stuff like that actually happening.
No, you can't make it so cartoonish, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna make people like.
It also doesn't
Not
even
take
make
that
sense.
seriously.
It doesn't even make sense within Star Trek lore because,
No.
like, in Star Trek normally, like, there was already a phase in, like, the normal Federation universe
Right.
where humanity did lots of fucked up stuff, right? Where, like, there was, like, some Third World War and, like, you know, slavery and, like, you know, Khan and all that, right?
Right.
But you know, we're just gonna pretend that none of that matters because, you know, 2024 was the big year because, I don't know, Donald Trump.
Right.
And,
He's not even.
I didn't think like
and to
that,
be fair,
that Star Trek had to be about Trump.
yeah, it has to be about.
Well, according to liberal kind of modern current pop culture, everything is about Trump.
I'm tired.
It's funny they want him to go. Yeah, I'm tired of it
everything
too.
being about
I'm
Trump.
tired of hearing
Yeah,
about
they
Trump.
keep saying they want to ignore him and for him to go.
But they
away.
won't shut up about it. Like, I want him to go away.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
talk
tired
about
of
him unless something really comes up in the news. But like,
But the writing is so bad too because it means, ooh, that's awesome.
That looks dope.
That is tight.
Weird.
I don't know what's going on, but I love it.
Me too. They're like coming up out of the sewer or something.
Oh
It's
my
like a
god,
water
rapture.
treatment plant or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
Weird.
like sewage rapture. And it's great too because like every character
Birds
is
rising.
so poorly written in that show too, and they're all just
Picard.
like,
Yeah.
they're all so full of themselves. There's one character who like straight up like goes on like a rant about how they think everyone else around them is like an NPC and they're like the main character in life or whatever. And this is the character that
Oh
we're
my
supposed to
God.
identify with and think is a good
Just
person.
solipsistic bullshit.
And dude, there is an episode where in 2024 we meet Picard's great whatever grandmother, right?
Uh-huh.
Who is a like 20-something astronaut, right?
Okay.
Wait, 20-year-old astronaut?
Yeah, because you know there's lots of 20-year-olds in NASA, right? And
Yeah, you're totally
Zero.
qualified at 20 to work at NASA.
and she is
Almost 30. I'm not qualified to work at NASA.
and the fucking plot point is that she is she's struggling in her simulations because she keeps crashing the ship because she's depressed, but she's got to figure out, she's got to sort out her
Okay, they would
depression.
kick her out of the Air Force. So they would kick her out of NASA.
She's got to sort out her depression in a couple of days because she's got to fly real soon.
No, they would not let her fly.
They knew you were too
They would stop.
emotionally
No.
unstable to reliably fly a plane.
You wouldn't be able to fly a
A
plane.
spaceship, yeah. It'd fly a
Yeah, right. Even worse. That's even worse.
No, but they got-
There's no way they'd be like, well, let's roll the dice on maybe she's feeling it today.
But
On
they're
this
like-
$1 billion fucking shuttle that we made.
We got to solve her depression within 3 days, or she won't discover life on Titan or whatever.
Okay, getting over anxiety cannot be the
Oh, well,
central. Cannot
this time-
cannot be.
Her anxiety
the
is being
dilemma.
caused by a time-traveling alien.
You can't let that. No, I'm sorry, man. Like you can't like that's for like some Tom Hanks like middle-aged like slice of life rom-com movie, like to like solve your problems and become
Guy's
brave
got all our
enough
powers.
to like.
Ooh, I like this thing.
That's not Star Trek. Star Trek isn't about working out your emotional issues.
It is now.
Oh my.
Well, don't forget in the first season.
Everything is now, dude.
There was a whole episode about Data wanting to commit suicide.
Yeah, but that kind of makes sense.
I'd want to kill myself if I was Data.
But it was never, like, you know, in character.
No, I can understand that for
But then, of
sure.
course, you know, there's the fact that season 1 mostly just ripped off Mass Effect. But
I just couldn't imagine.
Mass Effect
being
ripped off
like-
Star Citizen, right? Or no,
no, not Star Citizen, but there was
Star something? Star
Star Control.
Star Control, yeah, okay. I knew it was Star something.
So I've also heard that Mass Effect has been accused of ripping off, like, some sort of, like, Middle Eastern sci-fi book or something, like in
Okay.
Egypt or something. I don't know how true that is, I've just heard it.
I can't imagine being like
Gotcha.
watching Star Trek and being really excited
And-
watching someone overcome a battle with depression.
Yeah, no.
But
Star
that-
Trek should not be about personal issues ever.
That's for like lifetime. Like that's. There's nothing wrong with the story about that. I'm not even making fun of
But
that
it's
as a
gotta-
story.
but-
I'm just like it's not for Star Trek.
There's a yeah, no, I agree with that. It's not for Star Trek. That's total horseshit. You want to make a story about that? Make a story about that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's like turning on SpongeBob and then it being an entire episode about dealing with erectile dysfunction or something. Just like
I might watch that. I don't,
would you?
It sounds interesting. At least.
Squidward can't get a boner.
I mean, how many bones does he have in those tentacles?
That's a good question.
And then there's like a subplot with the Borg Queen, right, where she's like, I don't know, taking over a human body, and her whole thing is that like,
Oh yeah, remember the Borg, dude. This Picard show is just—it's outside of the stupid new stuff. It is member berries at its worst.
Dude, season 3, they're bringing back the entire cast of Next Generation.
Jesus Christ, man!
Because they have nothing else. You're just like, we're gonna just Dr. Crusher.
I liked the first 2 seasons of Discovery. That seemed new and different. I don't know why.
Remember Will Wheaton?
Remember Will Wheaton?
Actually, he's one of the only ones who's not invited back.
Well, at least they had the good sense for that.
He simps for the show. He's not on it, but he simps for it. Like, he does all these interviews where he's like, wow, this episode had such a great twist. How did you think of that?
And they didn't invite him back, even though he seems
not as an actor, no.
Well, I mean, come on, you remember Will Wheaton, right?
Yeah.
In that show.
Yeah, I know, but I just...
You remember how much you hate him.
That's true.
Just, I mean, he's simping for the show, you might as well let him come back on, like...
I mean, it's not like they're holding it to like much of a significantly higher standard than having Will Wheaton on the show. He'd fit in better now than he did in Next Generation originally.
But yeah, so the Borg Queen's back, right? And her whole thing is that like
Remember the Borg?
She's all about endorphins now, so she's like doing things that make her feel good and like,
That's not the Borg.
Yeah, and so she'll like smash a window and she'll go, oh. And then, like, she'll like, fuck a guy in a bar or whatever.
What?
Like, yeah, it's like one of her evil plans.
That's what the Borg does now?
Yeah. It's like the episode of Rick and Morty where
yeah, with like rednecks and shit.
Dude, that sounds like the Rick and Morty episode where the Cenobites are getting off on Jerry being lame. Like it's just what little things. She just smashes a window and is like, ugh.
That's exactly what it was like.
So you're telling me the Borg's having dirty one-night stands with rednecks that it meets in the bar?
Apparently.
And
it too, because it is a collective.
And they're bad, and then you've got like characters that are like bad. It sounds like a Lifetime movie. It sounds like
it really does.
It sounds.
Have you watched much of this yourself, or you just
I've only
keeping
heard
up on
reviews.
reading
To be fair,
okay.
So I mean,
I believe this is garbage. Though,
I don't see any reason to question what I've heard because I mean it's more.
I watched the first
saying the same things.
Right. I did watch the first like 2 or 3 episodes of the first season, and that is how I felt about it.
Yeah,
it sounds toxic.
I mean, and that wasn't even.
I know my dad watched some of it. He said it sucked.
Yeah.
Man,
but
entertainment is in rough shape in general.
And also, Patrick Stewart, he gets he's not free from the criticism of this show besides just being an actor because apparently he wrote some of it.
Well, I mean, look how old he is, man. We probably should.
He played the poop emoji.
He did play the poop emoji.
He had to question his judgment after he agreed to play the poop emoji.
Dude, in one of the most recent episodes of Picard,
grandchildren think poop is hilarious.
In one of the most recent episodes of Picard, there's an extended scene where like Picard's real life wife comes onto the show and just does a song.
What?
Because she's like a singer, I guess, and wanted to promote her album, and so Patrick Stewart.
Dude, that is the worst kind of that is the worst kind of TV show. That is the most absolute trash kind of thing.
Somebody put Star Trek in the ground. It sounds like it's.
They're working on it, man.
It sounds like it's.
They're digging a little deeper every day.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's. You're letting Patrick Stewart invite his wife on to hawk her album.
Yeah.
That's sad, dude.
So we are,
I think his dog.
Don't have our powers. We only have our bow and arrow.
Oh, and like all the characters, like so you remember all the actors in the first season, right, Sage? They're all
some of them, anyway.
Many of them are playing like their ancestors on.
No,
yeah.
Oh my god,
dude, no, that's like my least favorite thing. That
is a huge pet peeve for Alex.
It's a massive pet peeve. I fucking hate that shit. And you can't take that seriously at all. Like.
And then
big scissor ladies.
There's like all kinds of dumb little like they stick in like the references to like the worst bits of Star Trek like all over the place.
Okay.
Like just obscure crap like Gary Seven, who was like a character that was like
Was he the seventh Gary?
He was a character in the original Star Trek who existed only as a backdoor pilot for a terrible show that nobody wanted. And
they brought him back.
They brought back the references to him because I guess your show is great if it references obscure Star Trek things that nobody cares about.
It does sound like straight member berries, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's garbage, dude. It's absolute trash.
That's sad, man. That's
honestly worse than the new Star Wars, I think.
Damn.
More insulting for sure.
Yeah, the Star Wars was all about the member berries too, but I didn't feel as I didn't feel like it was calling me stupid.
That's sad, man. Wow.
That's bitching. I wish I had graffiti like that.
God damn it. Fuck it.
You only got 3 arrows left. There you go.
I can't even absorb spirits.
Yeah, no powers at all.
Nope. KK got cut out of our body, basically.
No shit.
It's unfortunate.
Was that boss we were fighting was made out of his real body?
Okay.
So it took the spirit with him.
Only got 2 arrows left.
Get that secretary. I'll be proud of yourself.
There's another one that would.
Well, you've murdered a lot of headless children at this point. So.
Shit.
Well, if they didn't have heads, is it really murder?
I don't know.
Not.
Okay. When are you dead, Lewis?
Legally or medically?
That's a good question.
You're gonna. Okay. So you go back up. Can you. Okay.
Oh, there's just all kinds of dumb shit in Picard. Every moment is just a shit fest of stupid. For example, they use at one point they use an EMP device to stall an ice convoy, and then
ice convoy. So they're really it's just ice. They're just fighting ice. That's what
ice are the main villains of this season.
Ice is the main villains.
I guess there's Q, but I don't know. Every time there's an action scene, they got to beat up ice agents.
Wow.
But, how much of this takes place in 2024?
All of it?
Most of it?
Wow, okay.
It's because it's cheap to make, and you can just have everybody wear cocktail dresses and stuff instead of the usual Starfleet uniforms.
That's weird, man.
Same reason they made holodeck episodes in the old shows.
Yeah, I get that. But still, that's fucking weird.
But yeah, so there's this scene where they use an EMP device to knock out a truck or whatever, so it can't drive. Okay. And then they apparently don't know how EMP works, because then they just barge onto the truck, and they're just using the EMP device like a phaser. They shoot people with it, and they fall over.
What?
Do they have pacemakers? Because otherwise that doesn't make any sense.
Well, at least I don't think they're supposed to have pacemakers. I was
going to say, you might be able to knock somebody with a pacemaker down.
No, just, EMP gun.
Just random people?
Yeah.
Yeah, because short-circuiting electronics really incapacitates people.
Yeah. That's how science works. Star Trek is hard science fiction.
It sounds like fiction, dude.
Alright, well, this cutscene plays, I'm gonna go feed the Horde.
Alright.
The Horde.
I'm glad he's being honest about how many of them are. Wait, are we supposed to know who this is?
No, totally an introductory.
Alright. I like her Abstergo shirt. Not a big fan.
Her hairstyle's too soon, man. Skrillex just died.
You like that paper clip in her hair?
Yeah, that's nice.
And she should fit an eraser in there. You get all the office supplies in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pencil sharpener.
You can make it work. Pull that one off.
Yeah. Like a little bump it kind of action. You can stick it in the back and just flip your hair on top of it. Adds volume so you can look like an alien from Battlefield Earth.
Oh, God. Well, even those things still look better than half the aliens in Star Trek.
Really? better than John? You're telling me that there are aliens in Star Trek that look worse than John Travolta in Battlefield Earth?
Yeah, you've seen some of them.
Oh, like in the older Star Trek?
Yeah, I don't know about new Star Trek.
Okay, I was gonna say I would hope they can do a little better than that in the new Star Trek.
You were still learning how to spell your name. I was being trained to conquer galaxies.
But yeah, I mean, like, new Star Trek's been fine as far as, like, making alien designs. I don't really...
Okay.
That's one thing I can't really fault for. But, like, old-ass Star Trek? Ooh.
Oh, yeah, there's some terrible aliens.
Yeah, there's, like, fucking corn and all that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that picture...
Hey, she has a homunculus.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Good for her.
He looks pretty bad. You don't look right.
They could have worked a little harder on that particular character.
Yep.
Oh, well, I mean, you only see him in that one little picture of the whole game, probably, so they're like, fuck it, good enough.
There's darkness by our power strip.
I'm always amazed that Star Trek kind of got away with having, like, a sort of a Jewish caricature species.
The, what are they, Ferengi?
Yeah, them.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they're money goblins. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. I mean, I do wonder, you know, sometimes I think, I don't know. Do you think that character, like Watto in Star Wars, is a Jewish caricature?
Dude, you put the hat on.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, sometimes I wonder if it's not people, like, in a way are being racist themselves by ascribing some of these, like when people like start drawing parallels between like orcs and black people sometimes when they try to claim like there's like
I think the people doing that are themselves racist.
When people are trying to like racialize like fantasy and everything, and they're like, and the orcs represent black people, and it's like you're making a lot of assumptions about black people.
To be fair, I will say I have seen fantasy stuff that does that, but I don't know if that means all orcs and all fantasy are like that.
Yeah, no, I will agree that there have been things that have been like that for sure. But like I've also heard people like try and go at the Lord of the Rings about it.
I don't think that's fair.
Well, it's I mean, it's just literally not true. The orcs and the villains in Lord of the Rings represent the other side in World War One, mostly the Germans and the coming machinery encroaching on nature. That's what the orcs are representing in Lord of the Rings. Like if you see that and you think that represents a racial group, that's a lot more about you.
I just find it like really offensive when they talk about like fantasy creatures and they're like and they're intentionally portrayed as primitive and backwards and whatever to make like a point
everyone
about
in fantasy is primitive and backwards.
Right. But it's just like why would you assume? I don't know. It
really does depend on the medium and like how it's presenting its characters, right?
But it's true that there are people that just literally fucking see it everywhere, and they just assume everything is that, no matter what.
And it's like maybe the way you think about people is, you know, fucked up. If you want to compare them to all these things, like, or you assume somebody's trying to make that comparison.
Yeah. I just feel like with the Ferengi in Star Trek, it's like, you know, they're all obsessed with money. They're always like, kind of like, you know, like all of those old, like, stereotypical, like, anti-Semitic imagery where they're kind of like...
Well, that's hard to deny, just like the orcs in Harry Potter. It's kind of hard to deny.
Goblins.
Or goblins, yeah.
I don't think they're as bad as those were, but I do feel like it's still...
Yeah, I guess I could kind of see it.
I don't know.
But I do just kind of wonder about, like, the idea, you know, that you, like, could you make a conniving, kind of, like, shady, money-obsessed character?
As long as he's Italian.
Well, can you make that kind of character and not
have
be
it
accused
feel like that?
of it being like anti-Semitic?
Not be accused, probably not, but I think you can definitely make a character, you know, that's like that, where you can still dodge a lot of the obvious.
I just feel like at a certain point, like, you're gonna have to have some of the most generic, and I think it's already kind of started to happen, super generic characters, because now you can't even have certain personality traits because people associate them with stereotypes so much.
Even if the character in itself isn't a stereotype.
Yeah,
but
I agree that people do go way too far in like looking for things to be offended by.
Oh god, yeah.
And I also think the problem is that, like, a lot of times when people come up with these kind of characters, they're just not very creative.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Well, and I think one thing that George Lucas ended up doing is he wasn't creative enough to think of genuinely interesting new cultures for aliens, so he just based them on stereotypes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't even like. I mean, part of it is that George Lucas probably is at least somewhat racist, but also more than anything, probably he's just lazy.
After Jar Jar Binks, he's
after Jar Jar.
If it was just Watto, I'd be like, all right, he's probably.
Don't forget the Trade Federation aliens.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's also a big one.
But it's also, I think, just laziness on his part.
I agree with that.
How do I make this character? You know, what's this alien race going to be like? Oh, we'll just make them, like, super stereotypically Asian. So then it's like, oh, they're differentiated, you know, by...
If it was just Watto, I'd go, oh, well, he's got something, you know, some feelings about Jews he doesn't want to admit.
Yeah.
But, like, when he made, like, Jar Jar...
And to make him such a central character. Watto's also got very little screen time. Even the Trade Federation aliens really don't have a lot of screen time, so you can make arguments about those, but, man, Jar Jar is a central character.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
the thing that's really bad
racist.
The thing that's really bad about Jar Jar is he's not just a stereotype of a black person. He is a minstrel. He's
a specific...
He's a certain genre of
You can't tell me that George Lucas doesn't know what that is.
Yeah, there's no way he's
there's no way he just like accidentally came up with like the minstrel aesthetic to like he definitely, at least subconsciously, if not overtly, was like, oh, I'm gonna take all these minstrel tropes and the accent and all that shit. All that Misa Yusa shit.
Yeah, I know, it's bad, dude. Oop, shit. Oh, he saw me.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Run.
There's nowhere to go.
Get to the door.
You don't have a weapon?
I can't.
Yeah, he's out of arrows.
You can't swap to anything else?
No, we don't have a KK. He got ripped out of us, right? So he's like...
You haven't seen any more arrows around, have you?
No, I haven't. That's also part of the problem.
It's unfortunate.
So we just go through the door.
We have to sneak to it.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
So...
You can't just cut through one of the walls like they always do.
Like in The Simpsons. He just walks through.
Yeah. God.
Unfortunately, no.
I'd be pretty tempted to do that.
I can wait till they turn around and I can do a stealth kill. Slowly take them out one by one.
No. It's an option, at least.
Oh, fucking... God damn it.
Just wait
There's
for
two
it.
of... Well, that's because there was two of them right there, and one of them was looking at me.
You sure you can't, like, grub around and pick up some arrows somewhere?
I mean, somewhere. I don't know where that is, though.
This just doesn't seem to be working out too well so far.
I mean, there's not really another way to get around here. Alright, turn around, keep turning around, stay turning around. There we go.
Okay.
Nice.
Let's get our fucking ghost powers back. That's the whole reason we're here.
Yeah, seriously. The whole point of this game is to be a ghost. Well, I wish it was Ghost the band.
Yeah. I don't think you'd really get the Japanese aesthetic, though.
You can make a pretty cool aesthetic just out of that, though.
Oh, hell yeah,
With all
dude.
their weird, like, Art Deco, like,
Oh,
music
yeah.
videos and shit.
Oh, 100%. Ghost has some insane imagery to it. Have you listened to the new album much?
When did it come out? I may have, I just don't remember.
Like mid-March.
Yeah, I think I listened to at least a few songs off that.
I'm not going to show expressions with my eyes.
Or any other part of it.
Yeah, I mean, gameplay in this game, awesome. Story, lackluster.
Pretty janky, like, people animations, too, which is probably...
Considering the rest of it looks so good.
You can see where they cut corners.
Yeah. I mean, I won't lie. The Evil Within games,
They cut corners.
they also cut. I mean, it's I feel like this is a good quality from this developer.
Yes.
But I would like to see them on a future game.
They do have some growth to do.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, hey, if they keep making stuff, I'll. So far, they've yet to like disappoint me.
Yeah, it's not like any of these games are
Yeah.
shit or anything. It's not like they're like faults in the sense.
But they have some flaws. I mean, to be honest, it's probably better to have it be in Japanese with subtitles because the English
Yeah, it's a good
voice
point.
acting in Evil Within, not for every character, like the main guy he was actually not bad, but like some, especially
He
some of
sounds
those.
so pissed off. and
Yeah, it was
everything.
funny. He was like stuck in traffic. He just had like road rage the entire time. But some of those NPCs are like kind of smaller side characters that you could interact with in the Evil Within 2 in particular, because the open world thing. Some of those side characters that you can interact with really just left no impression.
Oh, God.
I don't remember a single character outside of the main guy and his daughter.
I remember the
That's
mom.
it. Oh, I see. I didn't remember her.
I don't remember much else.
Some more than salt, bitch.
Come back, bitch.
I still, more than salt. That's a good slogan, man.
What, come at me, bitch?
No.
The official slogan of Morton Salt. Come at me, bitch.
When it rains, it pours.
Oh, here we go.
What was this?
It's like our super strong, super powered mode.
How'd we get that?
It was just story. Just getting to it at this point in the story, granted, that's this.
Oh, okay. How do we get it normally?
Not like it. Now we have it for the rest of the game.
What, for the rest of the game, we're just God?
Have you played a video game before?
Not one that gives me God powers halfway through.
No, every like action game has a power meter that you fill up, activate
Well,
for a
that was
limited
what I was
time.
asking about. You made it sound like we're going to be in power-up mode for the rest of the game.
I
Not that
don't-
we'd have to work towards, gaining that ability.
Yeah, no, I mean like we have to like you get upgrades to make it last longer, or like to do even more damage. But it is not like a permanent.
Okay, you
status
made it sound like
change.
the screen's going to be purple,
I-
we're going to be one-shotting everybody.
I don't really think I did.
That's what I heard.
See?
Is it?
Yeah. I said I want you to be wrong.
Oh my god. Yes. I really want us to get. We get enough of these. Maybe
Need a
3
lot of
more. So like these are like you have to have a certain number of a different item to unlock these little things to then get to the next part of the skill branch.
Right.
And this is the one I want us to get first, at least with those.
That's the one that lets us create kangaroos?
Yep, so we can just jump up to any rooftop anytime, whenever we want, and then like fly from rooftop to rooftop. That upgrade like completely changes like
Where can we get some more of the Magatamas then?
those are typically we get those from like doing side missions.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So the more side missions we stop and do, the more of those we're gonna pick up.
Yeah, the
Not
sooner we can be Japanese
everyone.
Batman, the better.
Yeah, right. I've shown you guys the like Batman of Shanghai like animated
Yes,
thing, right?
yes.
Oh, that's so cool. I would have loved for that to have been an entire animated series.
That was awesome.
新しい技を覚えられそうだぞ。
Wow, you got sick too. I wasn't the only one.
No shit, you got COVID too?
Not
No, I
COVID.
didn't get COVID. I had norovirus.
That's not exciting.
No, I mean, it sucked. Got diarrhea.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the drama of COVID. It doesn't sell as well,
Oh,
It's not as marketable to the channel, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize to the channel for bringing a half-rating virus. Sorry.
Oh, well, you still did better.
I didn't get diarrhea from COVID,
plan,
so
I didn't plan on bringing it up. Sage brought it up.
I
knew the stream
a good
wouldn't
point.
find it interesting.
I did not get diarrhea from COVID though, so like I feel like you might have gotten sicker from norovirus than I got from
I
COVID.
mean, norovirus is pretty rough.
Like I mean, I know COVID can be, but like it really was not that bad for me. I think it sucked for a little bit, but like I don't know, it really wasn't all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very subjective.
Well, and also the more we get into the variants, the less deadly overall it is. And
It's
so,
also fortunate that you're not like an old man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really have any other health issues, like any like other underlying things. I mean, I feel like if you're like pretty much perfectly healthy, like not that it can't still lay you out,
Yeah, there are people who have died.
but it's definitely a lot less common
Yeah.
than the people who have some sort of significant issue already.
That's true for pretty much any illness, really.
I mean, that
COVID's
is
not
true.
special, in most ways.
People certainly like to treat it like it is, though.
I mean, it's special in the sense that it's the first pandemic we've had in a while, and no one was prepared for it.
I mean, that's the biggest thing, is people just didn't, I mean,
So
no
now
one
everybody thinks
alive
it's
knew what to do.
Yeah, so now everybody thinks it's like some sort of super plague. There must be something real special, when really it's just like, no, our systems just suck.
Yeah. The systems are garbage.
Well, and it's just, I think one thing that happened to us is we hadn't had a pandemic in so long.
Right.
That we really thought that maybe we had progressed far enough technologically to stop one.
Or even if not technologically, then surely, governments and medical care providers would be organized enough that they could prevent.
Yeah, I didn't mean so much as we'd be able to make like the best vaccine or something, like just the idea that like we had progressed as a society enough to be able to stop one. And yeah, I mean the general knowledge of pandemics before going into this was that you can't stop it. All you can do is try to keep the most vulnerable people from catching it. I think we found out that that's still the case.
Yeah, 2020 and onwards really has just taught us that like humanity hasn't advanced in any way, shape, or form.
Or at least that we're still nature's bitch.
Yeah.
Like we have not beaten nature yet.
No. And we're still busy killing each other in wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do find it amusing that, there are plenty of wars going on, and then Ukraine happened. They're like, oh no, white people are being shot.
Yeah, they really did.
Oh, yeah,
really
dude. I don't see any of the people
Turkey
that
invaded Iraq, like, yesterday. But
I haven't heard a single news story about that.
Nobody gives a shit.
Or how about the genocide that the United States has been carrying out in Yemen for quite some time? I don't see any of the people talking about Ukraine talking about that.
Excuse me. We are refueling the planes
the
Saudis are
using to carry out genocide. Right.
The same place we also sold to them and sold the missiles for.
Right.
And then nobody's talking about Syria, the war there's still going on. Nobody's talking about, like, violence in, like, Somalia.
Or the disaster that Afghanistan's become.
Yep.
Like, as soon as we were out, we didn't give a fuck anymore. Like,
nope. Rubenoni.
Yeah,
can you believe that? We spent, like, $2 trillion in 20 years focused on Afghanistan, and now it's turned into a shithole where everyone's starving, and we can care less. Like, we have
even though it's our fault that it is in the fucking state of disrepair that it is. Not ours personally.
I mean, it looks a lot like it did before we got there, I guess. But we did nothing. $1 trillion.
We spent a lot of money and it went
We killed a lot of
trillions
civilians.
of dollars, did nothing.
It lined a lot of rich people's pockets.
Yep, we did kill a lot of civilians. Nowhere near what we killed in Iraq.
Well, that's true.
Well, there's less people and less concentrated groups than in Iraq.
We carpet bombed Iraq. That's been one of the things that's been interesting. Not that I'm saying that what Russia's doing in Ukraine, not trying to defend it at all. But man,
the Russians deserve the flack they're getting. It's just that they're not the only ones who deserve it.
But man, when we act like this shit hasn't happened since World War II, when we just demolished huge chunks of Iraq.
It's not that what Russia's doing isn't bad. It's that America has done it a shitload and more frequently for really long periods of time, and people are acting like that.
Like, we killed, 1 million civilians in Iraq?
Yeah, at least.
Something like that.
Yeah,
at least.
That's a lot of people, dude.
That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people.
Bombed a lot of hospitals and a lot of orphanages.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what I was just saying before we even started the stream earlier today, that Obama's the rate of the drone program is what 98% civilian casualties.
Yeah, I believe that. Well, we were also on a program where it's like if there was a wedding going on and we thought maybe a terrorist might be at the wedding, we were willing to kill everyone at the wedding. Yeah.
Sure, but you can give me some food first.
Hey, why not?
Yeah, there you go.
That's a helpful puppy.
Got a little bandana on. He's real proud of
Puppy's
it.
supposed to be eating mochi, dude.
Ice cream? You wanted to have diarrhea?
No,
I mean, it's not our dog.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
No, but you
shit
gave him
someone else's.
You gave him the dongo. That's just like little balls of mochi.
Well, I guess that's what it wanted.
Not even food for a dog.
That's what it wanted, man. Oh, we gotta save the dog from the business casual Slenderman.
Goddamn Slender Man got a touch of shit.
I know. Get him. Fucking give yourself sorted.
Well, some of them.
Oh, this one's got a vest.
Well,
That's
one of
the
those
that's
little
the
chicks.
that's the assistant
that's
one.
the chick?
Secretary.
Yeah, it's the secretary one. Secretary Slender.
Oh no, they're sucking up the dog.
It's a Slender secretary.
Slender secretary. God. Oh, there's not so Slender Man.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get too far without an appearance by him, right?
Yeah, what we call him again? Like Flabberman or something?
Flabberman.
God,
I was just going with not so Slender Man.
I mean, that is good. I'm not gonna lie. They're gonna fucking beam up your dog over there.
I know.
the secretary taking your dog's soul.
Yeah.
Secretaries do.
Leave my dog alone. Go collate something.
I don't need your lamination skills.
Yeah, I think it's funny too, because like one of the memes that was getting passed around when the whole Ukraine thing started, right? There's this picture of like a 12-year-old girl or something, right? Like basically like threatening to like punch some like soldier who's trying to like push her out of her home or something, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, look at, you know, these brave Ukrainian children standing up to their Russian oppressors.
Did it turn out to be a Russian girl?
It turned out to be a Palestinian girl,
Oh.
you know, trying to
punch an Israeli
soldier
soldier.
because the Israelis were driving them out of their homes, and then everybody dropped that meme like it was, you know, like it was a fucking hot potato.
Jesus. Of course.
I remember
Of
watching
course.
a video.
And again,
once.
sorry, I just the people they act like they care.
Oh, who
Oh,
the fuck
shit.
is this?
That's an Oni.
Cool.
But like these people act like they fucking give a shit about Ukraine, and then they do that, and they refuse to criticize Israel, which is a racist apartheid state.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember seeing a video once of like the settlers coming in to Palestine, like moving into the areas, and one of the settlers, like he was like ultra orthodox or whatever, he like just started like moving his stuff into this Palestinian's house before they had even moved their stuff out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And the Palestinian guy was just like, and he knew the Jewish guy too, like knew him personally or whatever. And he's like, why are you doing this? He's like, if I don't steal it, somebody else will. And he's like, well, I don't steal your house, somebody else will. It's just the way it goes. Like, I'm just, you know,
Jesus.
somebody's gonna steal it.
It might as well be
It
me,
might as well
essentially.
be me, basically, yeah.
That's
So I was like, God, that sucks, dude. He's right though. Somebody is gonna steal that house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a point. Man, it's sad.
That is sad. Oh God. I don't know, man.
It's gonna be my argument for when I steal your house.
Is
You're
it?
gonna steal all
You
those
steal
cats
my
that
house?
come with it.
You own your own
You
condo.
gotta
I
take care of
rent.
all those cats, Alex. Like,
What?
Sage can barely manage it.
I mean, I don't know. You're not gonna want to see your cats after I bring them home to Scones.
Yeah, Scones is a bully.
Yeah, she's not a fan of other cats. She was bullying me last night. I was getting pissed.
Well,
She's bullying you.
She wanted to go to bed, but I wasn't ready to go to bed. So, usually when we go to sleep, she likes to crawl underneath the blanket.
Okay.
So she started trying to crawl up the back of my shirt. Did not work. So then she started getting pissed and she started like nipping at my back. like just like let me in. And I was like, that's all the shirt I have, Scones. You're not gonna fit in it.
Oh man,
Cats.
cats are so fucking ridiculous.
Fucking weird.
Oh, Alex, I know I told Sage about this. I don't know if you heard about it or not. Well, I was learning about how the Russians also sucked at war in the 90s when they were trying to fuck with Chechnya.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because in their first Chechen war, right, about going in there and you know, just bullying a bunch of bearded dudes hiding out in their apartments or whatever.
Right.
And they completely got their asses kicked. And there were quite a few reasons for that. One of which, the biggest reason was that the Russian military was so incredibly corrupt that, like, they were, like, out of, like, even basic supplies. Like, they were having trouble, like, providing, like, footwear for their soldiers.
Jeez.
And, like, it was apparently common practice for, like, officers to just be, like, selling the enemy, like, whatever, like, weapons and supplies they had just lying around.
God,
Like, officers would grab, like, a tank or, like, a, you know, an IFV or something. They'd just fill it up with supplies. They'd drive it out to no man's land. And then they'd write it off as, like, you know, lost or blown up. When in reality, they just ditched it.
Right.
They'd come back, and those were always, like, supply drops to the enemy. Where, like, you know, you buy something from me, you know, however many grenades you want. I'll throw in a free tank as part of the deal.
God.
And,
Jeez.
like, in some cases, they were, like, selling bullets to the enemy that would then be used on their own men the next day. Shit like that.
That's fucked, man.
And, like, it was common practice for, like, the lower-level Russian soldiers to be, like, regularly beaten for, like, no reason, but as, like, a way of enforcing discipline.
Yeah, I would
Doesn't
not.
really get them on your side.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know about Russia, dude.
Would one of you be
Didn't-
willing to beer me?
Oh, yeah, sure. Didn't we, didn't they make a movie that had Jonah Hill and who else in it about those guys during the Iraq War who put in, like, a no-bid contract to sell ammunition? Like, just two random guys went on the government website and put in for a contract to sell ammunition to the U.S. Army during Iraq.
Thank you.
And the Army took it even though they had no qualifications and they weren't arms dealers or anything. And they were just buying ammo from China and selling it to the U.S. military. They made millions of dollars, dude.
Jesus.
Like,
That's insane. Do they ever get in trouble?
yeah, they ended up getting in trouble, but they'd already made all that money and
Well,
they didn't have to give it all back. Or,
They have to pay, like, a $10 million fine for their $1 billion in earnings.
yeah, I think it was something like that. I think they maybe did a little bit of jail time, but anyway, they're
Was it one of those, like,
they're
jail from
millionaires
home
now.
deals that rich people get?
Well, they're doing jails from home for everybody now. And did you see there was a like shooting at a mall in South Carolina, and they let the guy out on $25,000 bail with an ankle monitor? Like a mass shooting at a mall, and they were just like, "Yeah, just go home, dude. Here's an ankle monitor. Get the fuck
That's
out
ridiculous.
of here."
There's been a lot of mass shootings lately.
Yeah, there are like two in
They're
South
not really
Carolina
talking about him in the
one day.
news
Yeah.
anymore, though.
Well, they're not. They're different kind of mass shootings. It's usually like
I would think it
it's
would
like,
still make the news.
It's like gang related. Well, they don't really talk about like regular crime on the news
Well, that's
much
true.
anymore.
Which is funny because they used to.
Yeah, I think.
Granted, there was always, like, scaremongering stuff. But,
Right.
like,
Right.
you'd think they'd be all over this
Well, they
stuff.
only want to, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like anytime there's like a mass shooting where some random person goes and shoots a bunch of strangers because they're insane, obviously those ones get a lot of news coverage. But if it's somebody like it's like a gang war or something, and somebody walks into the mall trying to shoot one guy and ends up shooting like 10,
right.
for whatever reason, those stories don't usually make the news.
Well, I'm sure you guys did hear about the subway attack in New York.
Yeah.
That was crazy, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fucking
rolled
nuts.
in with like a gas
Yeah.
mask and bombs
Yeah.
and a gun.
Did you see the mayor of New York act like he did literally anything, or that the police did literally? The guy called and turned himself in, and then Eric Adams goes on the news is like, "We got him, New York. We got him. Like less than
What a
38 hours,
bullshitter.
less than 38
What
hours,
a
and we got him. I
bullshitter.
gotta thank the New York City, the NYPD for their hard. And it's like, come on, man. He called himself in. You guys didn't do shit. Like,
Yeah, no, that they don't get to
they're
take
like,
any
they're
credit
like, we
for that.
caught him. It's like, you didn't caught him. He caught himself.
Wasn't that also the one where, like, of the 10,000 security cameras on the subway system,
All of them were out,
the 3 around the station that he was at were out.
which
And-
means a ton of them.
Oh yeah, but they were like, oh well, those are the only 3. We assure you, your tax dollars are being well spent on those $800,000 security cameras.
Yeah, I don't fucking know, dude.
Absolute fucking horseshit, dude.
It's bad, man. I couldn't believe the balls on the mayor to go out and act like they did literally.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about this post-pandemic world is people be crazy.
Oh, people are fucking nuts. The guy was like smiling. Did you see the arrest pictures? He was like having a ball. He was so happy that he called and he's like, "Hey, I think you guys are looking for me."
He's even being a smartass about it.
And he was like smiling as they pushed him into the cop car.
He's famous now, right?
Yeah,
So
it was
that's
like
probably what he
it was
wanted.
It was kind of like in the Joker when they arrest
Do you
Joaquin
remember-
Phoenix, except it was a
It was an actual
bigger black dude instead of Joaquin Phoenix.
right. Do you remember how that movie for months and months before it came out, every news channel kept like talking about how it would cause a bunch of mass shooting, like a slew of mass.
Yeah, it's going to mobilize incels to become terrorists.
And then it came out and literally nothing happened except people were like, "Oh, we got a good movie."
There's another movie that had that alley scene in it.
Yep.
I was like, why? I don't know. I mean, I like that movie a lot.
The alley scene?
Yeah, where
With
where
the pearls.
Bruce's parents get shot and the pearls and everything.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that really didn't need to be in this movie.
I think it fit better there than it does a lot of the other times they do it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because it wasn't like establishing an origin story. It was
No, it's just an event.
it was the end of a long series of escalating consequences. And I think
Right.
I mean I know that isn't a huge difference, but I do think that.
No, I get that. I was just like, of all the Batman-related movies that didn't require that scene, Joker was probably like the biggest one that you just didn't need to have that in there.
I wonder. So I haven't seen all of Harley Quinn, but I wonder
The cartoon?
Does Harley Quinn? Yeah, the cartoon. Does that ever do like a spoof of that? Because I feel like that would be right at home.
I don't think it has.
I don't think it ever has.
I mean, they made jokes
made
about
fun
it,
of Batman for not
Well,
having
yeah.
parents. But.
Right. Darkness, no parents. Well, that's the Lego movie. But point being,
開かずの扉ってのはこれだな。
What season are they on now? Is
they
three
haven't
out?
made any more yet.
Is three-
I mean, it's
Okay,
coming.
it's just till 2.
It's coming
so
at some
far.
point,
Okay, so
but-
I've seen everything.
Yeah,
that's
you've
out.
seen everything.
Okay,
Yeah, it's coming at some point, but
that show's cool.
Ooh.
And then they've got the Kite Man spinoff.
yeah, there's gonna be a Kite Man spinoff. They basically described it as Cheers. And it's going to be the bar they sometimes go hang out, but it's
Yeah,
going to just focus
the
even
Hinge
more on
bar or whatever.
it's going to focus even more on the goons and stuff.
I identify as a hench.
That show knows how to take the piss out of this stuff.
Yeah, it does. But also be super
But-
cool, positive, gay story. Like,
Yeah, no, I love the Harley Quinn show. That handles all of that shit super well, and also feels like more of a genuine and faithful adaptation of DC Comics, despite being a parody. More than most of the things that come out that Warner Brothers actually produces.
yeah, Warner Brothers now on top of its game.
You get, I mean, it's gotten better since they started letting everything be its own standalone project. So it might be inconsistent in what you're going to get, but some of them end up being good.
But it's
Whereas
it's a-
before, when they tried to connect everything, it was just all bad.
well, they are going to give that a shot. So.
I know they're going to try again, but they
I
need
still
to
think
not.
Has Miller been fired yet?
No, they haven't even said anything about it. They haven't said a word. Because Alex, you know what he did, right? Like net new.
Yeah, the recent one.
Oh, he's got something new.
Oh well, so there's the choke slamming.
Yeah,
thing.
I do remember that.
That was like 2 years ago at
Yeah.
this point. Most recently, he attacked a couple in Hawaii, stole their passport
did
and
tell me
like
that,
personal
yeah.
information, and then burst into their hotel room screaming, "I'll end you and your slut wife."
And I think he'd been like renting out like an Airbnb from them or something.
Yeah, I think he'd been renting out their Airbnb. Okay. Yeah, and they haven't done anything. They haven't even said anything.
Like, how does he still have a career?
I don't know, man.
You're a fucking asshole if you steal somebody's passport. That's a major inconvenience. And there's no value, and there's no value to you.
No, none at all. Well, and also, I did hear one thing that I think is why. Scissor ladies.
Was he fucking the wife?
No, it's not even anything like that. It's that because there's the Discovery purchase of Warner Brothers from AT&T, that they're literally just waiting to make any decisions about literally anything until after the merger's over.
Yeah.
And only once that happens will they start commenting on any of these news stories.
I did hear that the CEO before the Discovery takeover.
Yeah.
That he rushed to push CNN Plus out because he was worried that the new CEO might cancel it.
Well, I'm not shocked by that.
Man, could you imagine dude, some of those people on there are big names in news.
Not anymore.
Chris Wallace left, when he left Fox News, he had the highest rated news show on Sunday. And it made sense for him to go to CNN. Fox News was an increasingly hostile place to Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace is a fairly liberal person. It did not make sense for him to be on Fox News. But the fact that he took that CNN Plus show, and now he's terrified. He wants Chris Cuomo's job now. That's what he's telling me. He's going in there. He's like, you give me that fucking show. You lied to me about this CNN Plus.
I mean, they did lie.
Only 10,000 people are fucking using it.
which is hilarious,
dude.
I think it's how did you say it, Alex? Not few things give you as much happiness as watching CNN die.
It is funny, man.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious, and they fucking deserve it.
They earned it, dude.
They absolutely earned it, dude. They're just. I mean, all of the news stations do. But
CNN has fallen apart so much that the heart and soul of CNN now is Brian fucking Stelter.
I know. Yeah. He's like their main guy.
He is the guy. He is what's holding that network together right now. You can tell Anderson Cooper's just collecting a check and just waiting out the days.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah. Well, did you see that video of the high school student just embarrassing him?
Yeah, that was bad.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was hilarious. The kid, he got up and he's like, "Do you has harmed public discourse and politics by ignoring things like the Hunter Biden laptop, which has recently come out to be true." And Brian Stelter was like, "Oh, it's time to eat."
He's like, yeah.
I'm not even kidding. He said, "Oh, it's time to eat." And he's like, "Well, I'll answer your question really quickly, and then we have to go eat."
That's like some Homer Simpson.
But then his answer, instead of answering the question...
Well, I think we're watching different networks.
Instead of answering the question, he's like, I think we're watching different networks. And I have to let you know that, in Ukraine, because some Fox News reporter got shot in Ukraine, he was like, our people rallied to save that guy's life. And it's like, nobody asked you any questions about that. We asked, why are you not a credible news source?
Yeah. It was literally, he was like, well, some people that work for my company did a nice thing somewhere. That was his argument for why he's like, oh, your question isn't a real legitimate question.
I mean, like if I was like a dental anesthesiologist or something, and people were like, hey, so why are you pissing in people's mouths? Like, well, I saved a cat from a burning building.
It has nothing to do with the question. Yeah, I don't know, man. Brian Stelter's fucking pathetic.
I don't know. It's.
We really don't have any good news anchors.
We don't.
No, there's
we
not.
don't.
Dude,
there's not one.
No.
Yeah, the days of Walter Cronkite are long over.
These M&Ms aren't sexy. He needs a sexy. He need to be sexier. He's a sexy M&M.
I don't know about Tucker Carlson, man. He really goes off on some wild tangents, even for Fox News.
I still want to know what was up with that fucking trailer. If that dude standing naked in front of that weird hologram projector or whatever it was.
That was the thing where you tan your balls.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
That was the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I
Yeah.
wasn't sure what that was because he was like standing on like a mountain, like with his like fucking arms on his hips, like it was some sort of triumph of humanity or something.
Yeah, he was tanning his balls.
Man, humanity is really,
yeah, I don't know.
not achieved anything.
Tucker Carlson really suggests you get out there and tan your nuts.
That's why. That's
For
why I
your
said.
testosterone
Is he
levels.
selling a nut tanner?
No, he thinks
Like,
you
is
can
he
go.
like Alex Jones now? Is he selling
No,
like
I don't.
shit you can buy?
I don't think he's shilling a product. He's more suggesting you go outside naked in the sun.
Right, 'cause, like he wants to watch. I know that.
Yeah, that's
but-
a possibility.
That's why I said, dude. When he complained about the M&M's not being sexy enough, he was not talking about the green one.
I don't know, man. People are getting weird.
Yeah,
Like, everybody's gone so.
sexy M&M's. They're not sexy enough. I need them to be sexy. They can't melt my mouth if they're not sexy.
Yeah, I don't know. And the news has changed so much now. I don't know how people expect people to take the news seriously at this point. Like any of the news outlets.
Well, I think
Like,
it's
Fox News gave that Jesse Waters dude a show, like primetime TV show.
which one was he?
He's the one that used to like bring witches out and shit like that.
Oh,
I hope he
has
still
one of the-
does.
He has one of the primo time slots.
Is he
Like,
bringing witches into the pre-night
I
time
don't,
slot?
I haven't. I don't watch Fox News.
No, I figured. But I don't know. You might know the little details.
Yeah, but if
If
he
you find
has,
out, let me
if he
know.
has, I would have watched. Like I would have heard and watched it,
Right.
Because I do like that cringe content. But yeah, I don't know. But like that guy, like used to do like man on the street interviews. Like he definitely never struck me as someone that you'd like put in your
Witch on the
premium-
street. I mean,
Yeah,
That's a good idea
not
for a
somebody
show.
I'd expect you to do one of your premium time slots to basically like
he seemed like
a borderline shock jock. to be
yeah, he
honest.
seemed like somebody that was just kind of
To be honest,
fucking
he's just
around.
kind of a bully more than
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, but yeah, no, they gave him one of like the best time slots on the network.
They really got nothing going on.
No,
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Yeah, the news network.
Stupid,
now-
sexy M&M's.
Oh, that's good.
they haven't found anybody to fill Chris Cuomo's time slot yet. They haven't figured out what
Oh,
they're
his
gonna
brother.
do.
Hired Andrew Cuomo.
Think
And
of
then
the
Chris
great
Cuomo
job.
could get...
Dude, Andrew
What
Cuomo's
if-
running for governor again.
Is he?
Yes, 100%.
See, I thought...
don't know, but they're
See,
pretty sure he's throwing his hat in the ring.
What I thought would happen was that Chris Cuomo would run for governor,
Yeah,
and Andrew Cuomo
Andrew
would get a
Cuomo
job on
would
CNN.
That would be good.
No, it sounds like Andrew Cuomo is going to run for governor again.
Okay then.
Yeah, but they
He
haven't.
didn't
filled-
murder enough homeless, or not homeless people, but elderly people last time?
Nope. But yeah, dude, they haven't filled Chris Cuomo's time slot. They don't know what they're going to do with Rachel Maddow's time slot now.
What happened to her?
Huh? She's going to just doing Sundays or something because she's doing a documentary about
My ass or
the
something.
president. No, just the president that I didn't understand why somebody would
Make a
do a
documentary about?
What, is it like some president no one's heard of?
It might be like Garfield or something. Like, but really, like,
Yeah, who gives a shit about him?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't like Mondays? Wow.
Well, Joe Biden has a bad case of the Mondays.
That's for sure. Well, he has that every day.
Yeah. Cool. We have the maximum number of the things that hold spirits that we can get.
Cool. We do soak up a lot of spirits.
Yeah, I mean there's 240,000 in the game total.
We'll be
I mean,
busy.
you get several hundred to even 1,000 sometimes at a time each
Right,
time you
right.
suck them up. So I mean, it's not like there are actually 240,000 clusters of them, but
Should be funny.
that'd
But
be
you still only
annoying.
have like not even a tenth of them yet.
Yeah, no, I mean it's still it's gonna be well. I bet we'll get like half of them by the time the
Spiro
game's open.
Agnew. Not
Spiro Agnew?
that was Nixon's first vice president.
Well,
Oh.
Spiro Agnew
I
is more
remember it
popular
being
than
an
Kamala
obscure-
Harris.
I remember it being an obscure.
Oh, shit,
political
policeman once.
figure.
Yeah,
He's got a baton.
cop, slender cop.
Yeah, be careful. He might choke you out.
Is there actually a genuine question? Is there a lot of police violence in Japan?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
The police are allowed to torture you, though.
Yeah, the conviction rate in Japan is ridiculously high. Their justice system doesn't really have
but there's not like
any
in
way
the
to
streets like all the time like violence.
The cops in Japan have fairly little to do for the most time because crime is not common. But if you get arrested in Japan, you're getting convicted.
Yeah.
Right.
They will torture you into a false confession.
Yeah, but if you get arrested, you're fucked, whether you did it or not.
Right.
It's my understanding of the justice system over there. But I mean, no, I don't think there's a lot of
public
police
brutality
yeah.
at least.
Right.
Once they get you into the interview room, who knows?
That's a different story.
Right.
I hear it's also like that in Saudi Arabia.
I believe that.
I remember hearing about this one dude who got falsely accused of a crime in Saudi Arabia, and so he got arrested, and the police tortured him for a month. They were pulling off his fingernails and shit, things like that, right? And he didn't give in to their torture, so they eventually let him go.
Wow.
That's
You gotta be fucking resilient, man.
Yeah.
I guess so.
That's cute, helping out ghost families and shit.
There's just a lot of ghosts. Just making a lot of ghosts happy.
That's pretty wholesome, man.
Yeah.
I like that. Cold and scones. Like me a cold and stone.
Hey, 420.
429,
damn.
actually.
Damn. Almost. Hey, we are doing a 420 stream tomorrow, though.
That's right.
True.
Tim won't be there, but me and Alex will be playing Sekiro.
Sick.
Yeah.
What do you think of Sekiro, Alex?
I mean, I've seen a little bit of it. I've seen him play a little bit of it on stream, but I haven't been on
Fucking
a
hard.
Sekiro stream, so...
Tomorrow will be the first time you actually get to watch me play it.
Are you still fighting that damn monkey?
I only just got to it at the end of the last stream, so I haven't spent really any time on
So
it
you're
yet.
going to be fighting that damn monkey.
That could be the entire stream tomorrow, which is ironic that it's a 420 stream because it's literally the least relaxing game I could play. Dark Souls is, man, I'm kind of glad I played all of the Dark Souls games first because I wouldn't think they were that hard if I played Sekiro first.
Mm-hmm.
I really wouldn't. I would be like, wow, this feels like nothing compared to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is what.
Take the stairs.
Well,
Small business owner.
Have employees disappear.
figure.
First you do, they're ghosts.
Only got about 20 more minutes, so I think we're just gonna stick to doing side missions until
that
the
makes
end of the stream.
Cool.
And then once we do finish this, though, we got more Returnal
That's true.
to play.
Sweet.
That's gonna be the next thing.
It's an infinite amount of that.
I am excited to maybe get a little more resolution on the story.
There is because it's basically a challenge tower, but there is story in it. There's even a whole new boss that's inside the challenge tower.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm very curious. It's hard to not want to just go and play it, and wait until we're done with this. I really want to. What's that?
However long this takes us.
I don't think this is going to take us a crazy long time. I really don't. Well, that guy's new.
Who is this guy?
He's like slender businessman.
But he's kind of fat, though.
He's a little chunkier, but he's red too.
He's like a devil.
Yeah. Huh.
He's kind of fat. He's been eating a little too many rice balls, I think. And I'll tell you, it was pretty weird, like, going to Asia and, like, you know...
Seeing no fat people.
Yeah, there was one fat dude that I saw on the train.
But the fact that there was only one.
Yeah, they're pretty rare over there. Although, isn't China have more of an obesity problem now?
I mean, it might, but I didn't see any evidence of it.
Okay.
Not when I was there.
Yeah, I didn't see any fat people.
You come back to America and you're like, it's like, wow, you forget how big people are.
Yeah. Well, it's like, definitely learned in Japan, I was like, whoa.
It's because they don't need
let me try on some clothes here. And I was like, wow.
They don't make any clothes for fat fucks like me.
Yeah, I was like, I guess I'm large here in Japan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like just like we were talking about earlier when we were talking about the lockdowns in Shanghai, but Chinese
they don't have
people
leather to live on.
Well, they don't. They just don't eat as much processed food. Yeah. They just don't eat as much shitty, bad for you garbage food as we do. And that's one reason why they're not fat. There's not as many.
I did see an argument for why they thought that it'd be easier to get Americans to switch to a plant-based diet than some other countries.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, I mean, plant-based burger patties and chicken are extremely processed and basically indistinguishable from the fast food versions of the meat because they're so processed.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense, honestly.
I was like, because I mean, like so far the plant-based meat is terrible for you. It's like if you made
really bad for you.
It's like if you made meat out of margarine.
Ooh, that's disgusting.
That's kind of.
I didn't know it was like really bad for you. I mean,
it's not. It's not for me at all. It's so it's unbelievably processed.
Wow.
Man, the people that are fucking going on about how you should eat that instead of meat are like the most pretentious. Like, I'm better than you. Fucking vegan bullshit artists.
I mean, if you're talking about better for the environment, if you're talking about
better for
ethical if you care about animals, but yeah, it's not healthy for you. It's basically the meat equivalent of a Twinkie. That's how processed it is.
Jesus.
Well, dude, I mean, you're turning soybeans into something that resembles beef. Like, think about how much processing that's gonna take.
That's true.
Yeah.
But the argument was, well, it might be hard to convince people in other countries to eat this, like strong meat-eating cultures. It could be fairly easy to get fast food eaters to make the switch because they're both barely food.
Yeah, if you're already eating McDonald's every other day, then it's not a huge difference.
Burger King, I think, will be the first restaurant to switch.
Well, they already have
the Impossible Burger,
right? But like you're thinking like swapping the entire menus
I think they could go full vegan. They've already tested it in the UK a little bit.
Meanwhile, Popeyes is going to offer you an all-rat diet.
Yeah, all that. all them
love that rat from Popeyes. Let's see, there's something else in here somewhere.
But yeah, it is amazing how unhealthy those plant-based burgers are, though.
I didn't know that. I mean, I refused to eat them because they were plant-based burgers, and I'm on principle alone. But
I have ordered.
I'll take it over the bug.
Yeah,
I'll take it over.
Yeah, I'll eat that over bugs. But I have eaten
the bug burgers for your health?
That I don't know. Generally I've heard like eating like cricket flour, replacing
cricket
flour.
Replacing your protein with cricket flour is supposed to be good for you, but I don't know.
I mean, at least it's in a flour form as opposed to like, here's a bunch of crickets, go nuts.
Yeah, no, they do grind it into like a fine dust.
Cricket dust.
Yes.
I just cricket sand. There we go.
But yeah, you'd hope if we went to being vegetarian that it would improve our health, like, as a society. but maybe not.
It doesn't sound like it, man.
I have a few times ordered black bean burgers just because I wasn't really feeling like eating meat, and I genuinely enjoyed those. Like,
Those are better for you though?
that's basically just they mush beans into a patty.
Right. So that's not nearly as bad.
No, it's not. I think they're fairly healthy for you. But I mean, it doesn't taste like a burger, but like it's not a burger, so it should taste like what it is.
Speaking of things not tasting like burgers, don't forget about the Hardee's taxis in here.
You're right.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Nice. Big Nick Carl's Jr. Stat.
Remember that really weird marketing campaign switch they did when they people bought out the it was
Carl Hardy one where it was like the son was like fucking shit up.
Well, yeah, they basically had Carl Sr. show up and take over the company and get rid of all the. It was literally there's a whole commercial about how the son had been being super ridiculous and having all the swimsuit models and the ads
running the company into the ground. Yeah,
and
it sounds like some WWE Vince McMahon shit.
Yeah, it did.
But it also was actually made when there was a change in ownership at the company too. So it actually was a new owner saying, "Yeah, we're not going to advertise the way we used to. Fuck the way they were doing things."
Okay,
which is a good point because I mean they were just advertised like Paris Hilton dropping onions down her cleavage. No, seriously.
It doesn't make me want to eat their food. I gotta be honest.
You wouldn't eat out of Paris Hilton?
That's hot.
Eating the burger on the hood of a car, just with toppings going down her chest and shit like that. Yeah,
that was their entire.
That's what those. Yeah, that's how
entire marketing strategy.
All their ads were just tits and meat, tits and meat,
tits and burgers, tits and burgers. You want some tits with your burgers and some sexy?
It's the most American ad campaign I can think
of. Yeah, tits and meat on a car. Yeah, well, people. Yeah, I don't know. It never made me hungry. It made me confused.
Going there and fucking the burger and eating the car.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Just go in and look at the Hardee's workers this is not what the commercial promised me.
So you open a bag of M&Ms and you're like, oh my god, why aren't they sexy?
Why aren't they wearing stiletto heels?
I will never not find that funny. I will never not find that funny.
I thought...
I don't know how Tucker Carlson's going to live it down having done that clip.
I don't know. Well, now he's talking about tanning your balls. He might have already gone past that now.
I think people have forgotten that he has lived it down because now we're talking about this.
Now he wants you to tan your
going for the Donald Trump strategy where if you just keep saying stupid shit, no one will remember that you said stupid shit.
Because every single new thing will keep overtaking the last thing? Probably.
I don't know. Well, and it's
I mean, let's be honest, it's worked.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, it's also it didn't matter that they switched the M&M.
Oh, this guy's got a scarf.
Oh, damn.
Oh, he's looking snazzy.
Yeah,
it's Dapper Slender Man.
This is CTO.
What's he holding, man?
He's got a Donkey Kong hammer.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Huh. I think that might be his lunchbox or something.
Do they make lunchboxes out of hammers over there?
I don't know.
Maybe it's a small
it's got a handle. It's got a handle on it, not a...
Maybe it's some kind of small beer cask.
Yeah, I don't know. Like a keg.
You guys also have a bunch of money.
A keg to work.
I would.
Yeah, I don't know. The M&M thing was weird, but the amount of passion that he brought to that was very confusing.
Yeah, it's
I was when I heard about the M&Ms, not so much that I cared that they were desexifying the M&Ms, she's gonna have sneakers.
Who thought the M&Ms were sexy?
Well, that's my thing. It's more that were they really so overly sexy that they needed to be changed? Right? That was my question.
We also now know that was all a ploy to distract from the fact that the company was using child labor.
Yes, that is exactly the case. Yeah, they literally came up with the idea to desexify the M&Ms because they thought that people wouldn't question them over slavery.
And it worked. Tucker Carlson didn't question them over slavery, did
he? Not in that clip.
No, he was just mad they weren't sexy enough.
my thing with it, I didn't think much about them desexifying the M&Ms. I was just amazed by what they thought would make interesting character dynamics.
Oh yeah, that was so dumb.
Like where they're like, and everybody's going to be supportive of each other, and they're not going to tear each other down anymore. They're all about building each other up.
Were they tearing each other down before?
Apparently.
Well, the red M&M, he was kind of mean.
Right.
But they said they were going to make him like more supportive of the group and more collaborative.
Yeah, like the yellow one was like a huge pussy who was
yeah. So now he was like more comfortable with himself and like confident. And then they said that the two female M&Ms had this dynamic where they were like tearing each other.
Yeah, they were like cat
where they were kind of like they had some like tension between them now. But now they had both recognized that they were both strong female M&Ms. And that they had to.
Okay, see that is woke nonsense because you're trying to appeal to people for literally no reason based off of nothing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Nobody gave a shit about the M&M's personalities.
No.
Yeah. Well, and it's like.
Although Tucker Carlson did care about their legs.
Also, like, what's a commercial gonna be like where it's like, "Whoa, I'm so proud of you, yellow M&M, for coming, and like." Being proud of yourself. Like, I mean, like, what does that commercial even look like? You have 30 seconds to make, like, a dumb joke and not, like, what are you going to do? Fill it with 30 seconds of, like, M&M affirmations?
Oh, well, but hold on.
Come on, man.
Ulysses, you saw that shitty ad. Because the ad was literally, like, they didn't even...
The M&Ms were all in the dark. You couldn't see them. They weren't doing anything. You could just see their fucking eyes. There was no point in even changing their appearance or their personalities because the ad reflected neither.
Right, because they're literally just going to be eyes in the dark.
Each other in the dark?
No.
Oh,
they were just there. They were all in a bag and they wanted out. That was the plot.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either, man. I don't either. I really don't.
It's kind of surreal. I haven't been to like a shopping mall in forever, and so like seeing it in a game is just like, really weird.
I mean, it is super empty.
It's true.
They are going to be closing down some malls pretty quick here. Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, just because they're dying as a format of
Public places are going to be very different. I feel like in a while.
I don't think there's going to be too many public places left.
There's going to be some, I think, but...
I mean, I guess it depends on what you consider a public. Like, restaurants will still be around.
Yeah.
But places that people can just, like, gather and mill around.
Spend the whole day just looking at different things to buy.
I mean, there'll still be parks and stuff.
Yeah. But I'm talking about, like malls aren't going to be a thing. I don't know. I mean,
theaters.
What else is even like that? Yeah, I don't know. Theaters will be interesting.
That's it right there.
I do think at some point movie theaters are going to either go to only specializing in like big blockbuster movies.
That's kind of already happening.
Or being like these kind of like art house event type places where you're going to spend a decent amount of money to see it, like an indie movie or something like that.
That's kind of already what's happening.
Yeah, even before COVID, things were going that way.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you go to the multi... Like, a movie that I actually really ended up liking, Nightmare Alley. Have you heard about that?
No.
It's a remake of an old movie. It's Guillermo del Toro.
Okay.
And Bradley Cooper plays this, like, con man that gets a job at, like, a freak show circus.
Okay.
Totally realistic, nothing supernatural about it. But it's really good. And they literally removed the movie from theaters entirely, like, on its, like, first week to make room for more Spider-Man No Way Home screenings. They just kicked it out of the theater, and they're like, nah, fuck this. Spider-Man's what's going to make money.
That's rough, man.
Well, and a lot of those movie theaters, they're under contract to show certain big movies at the exclusion of others, and if they violate that contract, they get in big trouble.
Yep, and to keep them in the theater for a very, very significant amount of time, too.
You do just end up...
So smaller theaters...
You end up being the studio's pitch.
You do.
Well, so like little theaters either have to only do indie stuff because, they can't afford to pay to only have the same movie in there. Because, like, say, like, it's a theater that has one screen, right? Mm-hmm. that theater can, they can afford to get the film reel for Spider-Man No Way Home, right? But if they have to sign a contract and keep that movie in the theater for like 6 months and not change it out for anything else, they're not going to make any money because everybody that's going to come see that particular movie at their theater
have already seen it.
And then they can't, but they're legally being contracted to only have that movie, and they cannot change it out for something else to keep their own business afloat.
That's insanity, dude.
Yeah. Which, that's like, people got super mad at Martin Scorsese for talking shit about, like, Marvel movies and stuff. And, like, he did phrase it in a way that sounded condescending, and, like, I get to decide what art is a little bit. But if you pick apart what he actually said, he's kind of talking about what we were. That's kind of what he was really getting at. He said it in a way that I don't agree with, but, like, that's what his real point was.
Well, and also, I mean, you have to, like, I don't know, be such an insufferable fanboy. Or prick, yeah. But just such an insufferable fanboy to not be able to admit that Marvel is not the pinnacle of cinema.
Yeah.
Like, as much as they're fun and enjoyable to watch or whatever, like, they do not have the artistic merit of, like, the finest that cinema has to offer. Like,
no, not at all.
Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, Marvel is good, solid entertainment.
There's a place for Marvel, and it excels in its place.
And it even sometimes reaches above its normal thing. It sometimes reaches outside of that, but it still has its bread. Yeah, but it's still Endgame. I think would be on that level. But like, it's got its bread and butter,
and it's not. And I mean, like as much
DC's
as,
hit.
I was gonna say, like Marvel's never hit the level that like the Dark Knight managed to hit.
Well, I mean, I think most movies don't hit that level.
I mean, the Dark
Knight is the seminal American film about terrorism and the post 9/11 security state. No other superhero movie has even come close to touching that, including the other two movies in that trilogy. Or even those are good superhero movies, but they're not even close to what the Dark Knight is. This is also the last side mission on the map, so we're going to do this, and then that'll be the end of the stream.
I do think the Joker is
that's up there too.
Really,
that's a good movie.
I think the original 1970s Superman also was actual like thoughtful cinema in a way that most superhero movies aren't.
But
it's hard to make thoughtful movies, and Marvel's, they make so many movies that
I mean that's also a big part of it, right? It's like how many movies can be
not
that great
and very. I actually don't think I can say that any of the Marvel movies have tried to be high art by any means, like or to reach that level, or even be in the genres that would necessarily yield that type of movie, I guess. I don't know.
Well, they follow such a specific formula.
That's part of the problem.
Room for that.
I genuinely think if you really break all of the Marvel movies down by actual script analysis, I think Endgame is the only one you could make an argument for achieving that level of cinema. But it's also only able to do so because of the format in which it exists as an endless series of
all the stuff that builds up to it.
I think there's a genuine argument to make for Endgame being the one. I think that's the one that does.
But certainly there have been movies that have played with higher themes, but haven't really been able to fully invest into them because again formula doesn't really allow for it.
Right.
But I mean, I also don't think just say that takes anything away from the Marvel movies.
Oh, I agree.
There are lots of movies that I love and are great movies that I just would not call art.
Right.
Even like Terminator, which is a movie I really enjoy. I would not say that Terminator is high art.
No,
it's a great movie.
One or two. I mean, they're both good, right? I think I've argued that two is even a classic. But classic and art, still different things.
Right.
But it's funny that you say that about DC, which is we rag on so many of the things DC puts out. But then when they do have they really do strike in and they have a really great movie, it does achieve way higher quality than Marvel. Even if Marvel has a more consistent overall output.
I do have to say that Batman also of all superheroes is the transcendent character.
Yeah.
among
Yeah, this is the most you
superheroes.
can do with it.
Batman is truly one of the greatest fictional characters of all time. I think
Oh,
people
yeah.
would have a hard time arguing. And I'm talking about literary critics, like even people
Yeah.
like snobby up their own ass people would have trouble denying
Yeah.
the quality of Batman as a literary character.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
and-
Batman's gonna stand aside, like, next
Yeah.
to like characters like fucking like Gilgamesh and like
yeah, 100%.
things like that.
And
It's
I mean,
like a literary focal point of like this is how these kind of
he's-
characters are based for.
I will also say Marvel does, well, maybe not in more recent years, but in the comics there is a greater level of storytelling that does achieve much deeper, themes and storytelling on a much more regular basis
Well, I think
too. Now, not so much
Marvel-
anymore,
yeah.
because I'm not a huge fan of the comics in that exist in today's world.
Well,
but for a long time they
Yeah,
did.
and of all the Marvel, like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
is the Marvel character you can do the most complex character analysis and like kind of
Yeah. Well, there's a reason that
deeper stories.
before superheroes were ever well liked by any sort of mainstream audience, Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman are the three
Right.
characters that everyone still knew those things.
Yeah, they're
Everyone.
the trinity of superheroes.
Yeah, those are the characters that have the most emotional. Well, I mean, yeah, and Spider-Man. Well, do they always capitalize on it? No, but Spider-Man is the most depthful
Oh yeah,
Marvel character
definitely.
for sure. I mean, the entire the theme of if all it takes for evil to prevail is for good to do nothing, right? The whole with great power comes great responsibility. I mean, that's a theme that is Spider-Man shares with some like classic like Shakespearean literature. And the animated movie hit that better than.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that hit it.
that
Hit it the best.
that was so
that and then the second Tobey Maguire movie are still the two best ones by far. Yeah, that second Spider-Man movie is. I mean, one that has the Shakespearean tragic character
Oh, yeah.
arc of Doc Ock, and
Right.
they actually do handle that.
It's a kitty. Two
Well,
kitties.
Doc Ock is like in that movie is one of
Oh,
the
shit, there's
few
a ton of
times I
Okay.
feel like they managed to cast the villain in Spider-Man to really like
Ah, damn it. Oh, there's.
reach that level to draw out tease out some of those deeper elements in the Spider-Man story.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He's, what's his name? Molina.
Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina. He's fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, and he fits that character so goddamn well too. I mean, it's.
Now I just envisioned that guy being dressed up like Molina from Mortal
Oh god.
I don't want to see that.
Kombat.
Not even a little bit.
It's already in your minds.
Not yet.
I don't think in pictures, so
I know.
you can't
I
make me.
also know.
You cannot make
Just
me.
you wait, I'll poison your mind someday.
Makes
All right, hold on.
life a little easier.
There is the. Oh, there it is. Okay. Cool.
Man, have you seen? Do you guys know who Francis Fukuyama is?
No.
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Francis, after the Soviet Union fell, this historian named Francis Fukuyama, he wrote a book called The End of History.
Oh, this is going to be good.
And he argued that now that the Soviet Union fell and that America was the only superpower, and because democracies didn't go to war with each other.
Oh,
What?
shit.
Well, democracies don't go to war with each other. That's actually.
Well, that's true because we are not a democracy.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean it is an empirical fact, at least that countries that are considered like undeniable democracies, they just don't go to war with you. I think Finland going to war with the Allies was like the last time recognized democracy went to war.
So
Is that
that's an
because
example of
something
the-
intrinsic to democracy, or is that because of the way that ideologies
I think
were aligned during the Cold War?
ideologies represent alliances now,
Yeah.
basically.
But also, that was just an example of it happening that you gave, so that absolutely...
Yeah, but
it just disproves the entire point, doesn't it?
But I mean, well, the Finland in World War II was a complicated situation.
It is.
Sure, but it is still nonetheless an example of that.
But
happening.
anyway, because that was the last time that democracies had gone to war with each other and all this, and that that we were slowly making progress, and that America was the only superpower left in the world, and that it had guaranteed the New World Order or whatever, that what was going to happen was that eventually, over time, all countries would become democracies, there would be no more war.
Yeah.
And that
Didn't work out great.
and that the biggest problem that anybody was going to have was boredom. Like, we just wouldn't know what to do.
I would like for that to be the case.
So that actually was like the dominant. That book was like the most influential book on geopolitics for like 20, 30 years, immediately following the fall of the Soviet Union. And man, people are shitting on that guy so hard right now.
Yeah.
But like everybody bought it. Like people treated that guy like he was a genius. They were like, oh, he's so right. There's no way we'll ever have another war. That's how we got in this situation. Is everybody bought his argument in the West. They were like, oh, there will never be another war. We don't have to worry about.
It's such a stupid prediction. It's like that the dude in 1900 predicted that everything that could be invented has been invented.
But no, that really was the.
But why is it only just now though? Why is it only just now that people are giving him shit when we've been invading Iraq and Afghanistan and
those were
Vietnam?
ambitions to spread democracy.
Yeah,
well, they were right
because that was the argument was that like the end of history is coming. But it needs a little bit of help. Like Bush, and just the Bush administration bought into Fukuyama hard. Like they really thought that it was the end of history, and that you would be able to like just move these countries. By spreading democracy, we're rushing the process,
right?
And that eventually you would reach the end of history,
which is absolute horseshit.
Yeah, but obviously now it's like, oh. Okay, well, everything just changed. That was horse shit. All of these systems we set up, Europe not funding its military. Europe has justified not funding its military entirely based on that book, basically.
And now if they actually got into a fucking real fight with anybody.
Oh, Germany is basically told Ukraine they can't send them anything anymore because
they don't have anything?
They're basically saying it would be extremely dangerous to our national security to provide you with any more of our weapons.
Because they haven't made anything.
They just don't have anything. So they're at the point now where they're like, if we give you stuff, we will have nothing.
Well, there we go.
I can't believe we gave away a third of our javelins. And we're draining the strategic petroleum reserve.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that yet?
Dude, if we get into an actual hot war, we will have wasted everything.
Well, the good news is that an actual hot war would go nuclear in a quick minute.
I mean, at that point, it's like, it doesn't even matter, because everything would just be
I think that's a big part of what influenced a lot of...
The calculus here?
Yeah, because the Cold War analysis has always been since, like, the 60s, that there was no way to avert a nuclear war in a World War III scenario.
Well, Chris Coons, the senator out of Delaware, he's been saying we need to start talking about when we'd be willing to put boots on the ground in Ukraine.
Oh yeah, that's not going to leave it there.
He was like,
it's so funny. It's mostly liberals that are fucking bringing that up.
People who don't seem to understand what nuclear war is.
From what I've seen,
I've seen a decent amount, but there's a lot of neocons.
There's a lot of people,
but they're all
Lindsey Graham.
Yes, and yes, Lindsey Graham is a very good example. But most of even the conservatives that I've seen are the ones that have jumped ship and joined the Democratic Party.
I've seen some of the up and coming conservatives.
Some of the up and comers.
That shit too. Like
fair enough.
Pro-Trump people, a lot of them.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. I think
it's just that people don't seem to understand what nuclear war would mean. Or what would lead to it. Like all those people who supported putting a no-fly zone over Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
With no understanding what that means.
Which, again, I really feel like almost everyone I saw say that was a good idea was a liberal.
Yep.
I don't know.
There were definitely people on both
sides.
It might not be...
I saw Joni Ernst say it. I saw Lindsey Graham say it.
Sure.
Mitch McConnell said some shit like that. I don't know. The neocons, they're still neocons in the Republican Party, I think. They come out for that shit.
I think I remember hearing that there was like a survey.
A lot of them are Democrats, though, now.
I think there was a survey where like two-thirds of Americans, regardless of political affiliation, thought that a no-fly zone over Ukraine was a good idea.
2/3?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I saw that poll. Then I saw another poll where they specified that establishing a no-fly zone would require shooting down Russian jets, and I think it dropped to like 20%. So that's
still a lot,
that's
actually.
just dumb fucking Americans
don't know what a no-fly
answering
zone
questions
is.
that they don't understand.
Like, how do you think to enforce a no-fly zone?
Yeah, we got if Russia shouldn't be flying planes over Ukraine, so I'll definitely support that. Oh, we have to shoot down the Russian plane? Well, I don't know about that. I thought we were just going to ask.
Christ.
Yeah, I don't know. But that shows you Americans are willing
Don't know shit.
Americans are willing to answer a question they don't know jack shit about.
It's true.
Like you ask
They love answering questions they don't know.
You ask an American if they have an opinion on what's going on in Zeta Reticuli right now, they'll give you an answer, dude.
It's true.
Fuck.
Do you think we should invade Zeta Reticuli?
Oh my god, that'd
Well,
be so
I
funny.
think they got a dictator over there who doesn't appreciate democracy like we do here, and I think he's oppressing the native peoples.
Or the Zeta Reticulize.
I don't know if that's like in Africa or what, but
How we should bomb them.
We can send planes over there in, what, a week?
You know, yeah.
A week.
You know, if we don't bomb Andromeda, they're gonna come over here and bomb us.
Andromeda.
Might as well take care of it on that side of the
You know, they
galaxy.
always got all them Zeta Reticulian refugees coming over here and starting shit. Why don't we go over there and start some shit, huh?
Zeta Reticules.
You know, we go fight on that side of the galaxy, so we don't have to fight on this side.
We're going to send all them illegals back there where they came from.
Them aliens.
And they'd be literally right then, in that scenario.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I am consistently amazed. That's one of the things in polling, like if you listen to people talk about polling who really know how polling works, you can get like a 30-40% shift in the answer to a question just based on how you word it.
Yep.
So half the time,
what's that big thing?
half the time polling is meaningless.
It's like another demon, some other kind of
We're
demon.
going to have to fight something like that at some point?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, shit. Giant
No, nice.
two-tailed cat thing.
We could go right up and fuck with that and then like get into a big fight, but just because we're trying to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, we'll say it's a big fight for next time.
Well, and there's also like a ton of those, and you just kind of encounter them in like kind of randomly throughout the open world. So like that'll come up several more times. We're not missing anything by not.
I wonder how difficult those things are to fight.
Yeah. Well, right now we're not super powered up, so probably wouldn't be easy. Probably wouldn't be too easy. So I'm just trying to figure out what side of the building. That cuts off in fog. Get something. Oh, there's spirits down here. Nope, can't get through there.
Never an elevator would be.
Right? Let's see. Gotta be something around here somewhere. No. Maybe. Ah, there we go.
Fine.
This is why This is exactly why getting that upgrade where we can just summon a Tengu to jump to any building is a very, I think, crucial upgrade for this game.
Oh no. There's bullshit in the way. I'll go to lift.
Alright. Well, it's good to be back at it again.
Yeah, after however long it's been.
Like a month, pretty much.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, my bladder was getting pretty full. We definitely needed to do some screaming.
There you go.
But, well, we'll be back next week to bitch about more politics.
I mean, politics is just entertainment. I mean, at this point, because I'm paying attention to other people's elections, ones that don't affect me as much.
Well, I mean, we'll still do it about our own.
Seriously at this point.
I mean, we'll still do that with our own elections too, though. So
Yeah, we'll see.
At least until we inevitably elect some sort of dictator with the.
Oh yeah, I mean, they could go back to a bunch of stuff we've said in this stream already, and I'm sure we'll get executed.
Yeah, I just want to take some time to say that whatever corrupt, militaristic administration we have in the near future, I'm 100% in support.
I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords. And we have to go send the data. But yeah, we'll be here. Well, Alex, you'll be back tomorrow for our 420 stream, and then Ulysses next Tuesday.
Yep.
What?
What's that?
Said 420. What?
420. 420. No, that'll be good though. That'll be good.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't be relaxing in any way, shape, or
Yeah,
form.
because
But,
you're playing Sekiro.
yeah. I mean, it'll
You can
even.
make Alex play for a bit.
Hell no.
I mean, you can try like once if you want, just to
no,
see.
I don't wanna.
Maybe he's like really good at it and he doesn't know,
You won't know till you try.
What if you're like a master
like a
at
Dark
it?
Souls Rain Man or something?
Yeah, like you're just gonna make Sage look really bad or something. It's gonna be like the runaway like star of the channel.
Yeah, that's me, man. I mean, my video game prowess is unmatched.
Shit. What's the last game you actually not played but completed? What's the last game you actually played all the way to the end?
God of War.
4? The newest
Yeah,
God of War.
War, yeah.
That's not that long ago, actually. I was expecting you to be like The Sims 2. There's some shit that was
I
like on the
need to
PlayStation 2.
finish Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, that's a great game.
But I don't get much.
You've probably seen the ends of games more because since we've been streaming,
Yes.
than
Yeah,
probably ever before that. All right, and then this also counts as a save too.
All right.
Sending that moon data. The full moon. See anybody streaming that we would like to raid?
Just wait till you get a taste of my full moon.
Yeah, answer the phone, alright. The moon. Oh, that's a great little thing to go out on, I think.
Wait, does he just say the moon is indeed the moon?
Basically. But this reminds me, though, this is a great note, I think, to go out on, but Alex, did you know, in Dragon Ball, right, one of the main races is, they're kind of like werewolves, right? So the moon turns them into a big creature.
Okay.
So as a solution to this, in the story, this character blows up the moon. He's like, problem solved. And then people are like, what the fuck? There's no moon now. And he's like, don't worry, I got a guy. We'll just make another one. That is actually
interesting.
That is actually plot in Dragon Ball Z.
Wouldn't the new moon also cause that problem?
Yeah, and I think it even does.
What the fuck?
Interesting. That is pretty
like it actually did do that.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, on that note,
Ulysses is
have a good night, everybody.
9,000.
I don't know why.
Lucy does
dragging my balls on her face.
Oh, that's good.
That is. No, you're not. None of us are. None of us are. All right, have a good one, everybody. We'll see you
Bye,
next week.
everybody.
Does that work?
Well, you fucking up the processing.